It's the annual Sunshine State rivalry game. Both the Knights and Bulls are bowl bound. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Tampa. So great to have you with us. This is Dave Ryan. I hope you and yours had a safe and happy Thanksgiving holiday. I'm joined by Corey Chavis and Melanie Collins in a moment. Big game for USF, a chance for a school record 10 wins this year if they beat the Knights. And they can still win the East Division of the American Conference. Temple, though, can clinch with a win over East Carolina tonight. So, Corey, different strengths for these teams. USF, 65 touchdowns scored this year. That's tied for third in the nation. UCF playmakers, defensive side of the ball, 5 defensive touchdowns this year.
Yeah, it's a battle of two teams who I believe have their personalities set in place, and you got to be able to stop this guy, Quentin Flowers, if you're UCF, and that means you got to run and hit and be physical to the football because he'll throw the ball down the field. Rodney Adams has 5 touchdowns, both rushing and receiving, and they're an offense that's predicated on a fast pace. And the two guys who I believe, the Griffin brothers, you talked about them being twins, where they're twins in the way that they play. You see Shaquem, he's always coming from the backside, and sometimes it leads to this, an interception for his brother Shaquille. He's been fantastic. Both of them are a joy to watch. And for them today, it's about one thing, physical play.
Can't wait to watch him in action, Corey, today. Beautiful day. Gulf Coast of Florida, 78 degrees. Slight breeze, partly cloudy. First year head coach, former offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach at Oregon. Scott Frost, what a turnaround. One of the best in the nation. From no wins last year to 12 to 6 this year. And Willie Taggart, 4th year as USF head coach, on the verge of bowl history with a win today. Already a record-tying 9th win this year for USF. UCF has won the toss, electing to receive. And Adrian Killens, who does have a touchdown return. That was against East Carolina. 100 yards. Will receive the kick here from Brandon Bear to begin this rivalry game today. 100 miles separate the campuses, UCF and USF. Underway from Tampa. Here's Killens. Speedy freshman. Looks for room. Has some. Killens to the outside. Killens the cutback. Had a great return to the 39-yard line for Adrian Killens. What a start for UCF. Chick-fil-A starting lineup for the Knights. True freshman quarterback Mackenzie Milton, 9th career start. As you might expect, wild roller coaster of a ride for this youngster from Hawaii. Spectacular athlete, but athlete decision-making accuracy have been inconsistent. He's the first ever student athlete any sport at UCF from Hawaii. Attended summer camps at Oregon when Scott Frost was an assistant there. A good week of practice, Scott Frost told us last night for Milton. He was very accurate in all of his throwing drills. Now it's the game. And throwing on first down. Akins the catch. Polished off by Augie Sanchez. Offensively, Traquan Smith leads the way for the Knights, 47 catches, 21 more than the next best on the team. Team best 3 TD catches this year. He'll need to be a playmaker today. Sanchez the tip on the ball intended for Cam Stewart, incomplete. And third down and short coming up here for UCF.
And Sanchez does an excellent job of getting into the passing lane and nearly an interception to the house. It was an excellent break, and he's gotten better, I think, throughout his career. He's always been good at it, reading the eyes of the quarterback.
On third down, Hamilton the carry and does have the first down. USF on defense. They rely on Diedrich Nichols. He had 3 pass breakups last moments against Memphis. Helped seal that win at 2 picks last week in Dallas against SMU. He is a big playmaker defensively for the Bulls. First down. Akins stays busy with a second catch, and that'll be a first down, about 11-yard pickup for UCF. Jordan Akins, former baseball player, picks up 11.
Well, just finding a soft spot in their zone coverage. Nobody matched him, and he was able to really sit down and show some of that savviness that you can see from him sometimes, the former receiver at work.
On first down, Milton throwing. Traquan Smith. Catch, big run. Smith inside the 5. And what a start for hashtag UC Fast. They're on the move here.
Excellent vision, patience, and then you can see the release. You asked Coach Frost about it. Very on point on that last play. So far, so good for Milton.
Freshman Hamilton is in. Touchdown UCF. That didn't take long. A minute 50 seconds for a touchdown. There is a Knight shaken up and injured here. Hamilton, the freshman from Miami, has his 4th career rushing touchdown. And we're trying to get a number for you on the injured Knight. Wyatt Miller, the right tackle, redshirt sophomore from Douglas, Georgia, is shaken up here for UCF. Coach is very pleased with how he's graded out in the last several games for the Knights on film. Now we hope he's okay. Charles Sprinkle, a redshirt junior from Delray Beach, Florida, is listed behind Miller at right tackle for UCF. There's Justin Holman, senior quarterback, been through so much with the Knights program. Lost his starting job to Milton this year, helping Wyatt Miller off the field. So Matthew Wright will head on for the PAT here. What a start for UCF. Here's Wright for the PAT. 34-36 in that department this year. Seven nothing. Could you have asked for a better start for UCF? The answer, Knight fans, no. You could not. Milton directs the drive. Hamilton finishes up. Freshman to freshman. These kids can play. Only took a minute 50, 6 plays, 60 yards. Hamilton caps it off. TD run for UCF. Third member of our crew, Melanie Collins, on the field talking coaches today. Melanie, how are you?
I'm good, Dave. Thank you. And one of the commonalities between these two coaches is their ability to turn a program around. Willie Taggart is in his 4th season at USF and has guided this team to a 9-2 record on the season. He's taken a team from the depths of a 2-win season in 2013 to a possible program record 10th win tonight. Scott Frost, on the other hand, took over a winless program and guided them to bowl eligibility in his first year as head coach. He gave a lot of credit to his coaching staff and what they were able to do with the situation they took over. But most of all, he said his guys were all hungry for new direction. And he said we gave them exactly that, and they went in at full force. But he's certainly not satisfied. He said it'll be another couple years before this program is where he wants it, at the top, Dave.
Melanie, Donald De La Haye kicks off for UCF through the end zone. It's a touchback. Two outstanding young coaches leading these programs.
Well, let's go back to the play that set up the last touchdown, David. It was Traquan Smith against Dietrich Nichols, and really what they do, they want to clear this part of the field out to create a one-on-one, even though they're playing zone. Not a good break by Nichols, and look at the way Smith comes back to the ball. Then you can use your size, speed, and overall strength to set up what ended up being a rushing touchdown. Had to be a good start, a good feel for offensive coordinator Troy Walters, that his quarterback got off to that kind of start.
But now the defense has got to face this guy. Quentin Flowers hands to Marlon Mack, the all-time leading rusher in USF history. Picks up some more real estate. He's got 5. Jake Flay starting lineup for the Bulls. Quentin Flowers, Player of the Year type, season 3rd in the American Conference in running, 115.7 yards per game. He has been brilliant. 2nd full year as a starter. 330 plus yards a game, #1 in the American. fakes the pass, runs. That's where he's so dangerous in space. And he's out to about the 35. It'll be a first down. Marlon Mack, 18 rushing yards shy beginning the game of his third straight 1,000-yard season. So emblematic of this bull rise Melanie was talking about under Willie Taggart over the last 3 years from the Bay Area. 13 rushing touchdowns this year, tied for the team lead with Quentin Flowers. On first down, end around play. Rodney Adams, who's got some speed to burn. A legit national speedster Rodney Adams could pick up.
Well, look at this hit by Drico Johnson. Those are the types of hits that wear on receivers during the course of a game.
Whistles, flags this time before that play gets going.
Ball start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First, second down.
Tracy Jones, our referee today. American Conference crew here in Tampa. Shaquem Griffin enjoying an absolutely sensational season. 5th in the FBS in sacks. And 8th in tackles for loss. He leads the American in sacks this year. Truly one of the most inspirational players you'll ever watch. On second down, Tony Garrard pulling Marlon Mack back. More on Shaquem. Become a national name this year. Richard Jr. from nearby St. Petersburg. He's got 10 sacks that leads the American Conference. He's a first-year starter, moved from defensive back to linebacker this year. He lost his arm due to a rare disorder at age 4 and has been nothing short of spectacular for UCF. Got to be the defensive player of the year in the conference. Third down. Knockdown, back to Flowers. It's a pass complete to him. Quentin Flowers keeps it going until Earl Clark finds him. It's a loss on a wild play.
It was a good job by Tony Garrard of getting his hands up. And he's been a player that's really, you can see the energy of him even retracing his steps to get back to him. Rod has really played well throughout this season. He's come on even more the second half of the year. And what a stop by the Knights. 11th in the country on third down defensively. You saw wow on that last snap.
John Hernandez, Florida State transfer, punts for USF. Pressure. And that nearly got blocked. Here's Chris Johnson on the fair catch at about the 28.
Well, Hernandez, he's going to his left. And you can see number 25, Kyle Gibson, almost takes it off his foot.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Acura, precision crafted performance. By Verizon, join a better network because better matters. And by Bud Light, raise one to right now.
Next, best place to be, baby. Oh, sailboat here in the Tampa St. Pete area. Just beautiful weather for late November. Milton, the offense, back on the field. The freshman throws that one in the dirt and incomplete. Raekwon Smith, intended receiver. Second down. Our Lowe's game improvement scoring.
Well, for UCF, it's positive yards on first down. Not bad on that first drive. They ended up scoring a touchdown. And then for USF, we've already seen them give up an explosive play to Raekwon Smith on a curl route where they missed some tackles. They've got to limit those this afternoon.
Lowe's never stop improving. On second down, here's Killens. Nigel Harris finds him and shoves him out of bounds. Trying the stretch play there with Adrian Killens, who's got incredible speed, no gain. It's the money down. Knights have struggled on third downs this year. 122nd of 128 in the FBS. Been an issue. 3 of 17 last week in the loss to Tulsa. Here's Milton. Lots of time. Now flushed. Down he goes. Keith Livingstone. Kirk Livingstone is all over him for the sack.
Good job of keeping contained by Livingstone. And you get the inside push from Sanat. It runs it right back in. They did a twist up front with their defensive linemen, and what that means, their defensive tackles go to opposite directions off the ball, and that's what got their interior pushed back into Milton's face.
Second sack for Livingstone. Caleb Houston punts to Dearness Johnson. Lets that one bounce and takes a good Knights roll to about the 33. And USF will take over. But down to this game, 7-0. Flowers, Mack, this incredible offense back on the field next. Rucker, Bryant hangs on. Touchdown, Temple. A tremendous catch for the Owls. Design quarterback run for Flowers. Look at how elusive he is. Breaks free. An incredible run for Quentin Flowers. Here he goes. Adrian Killins to the house. Been a great year covering the American Conference, the East Division. Some spectacular playmakers this year. And how about the offense? 65 touchdowns, a school record. Third in the FBS, 7th in yards per game. And 2 of the last 3 games, 400-plus rushing yards. Quentin Flowers directs the show. Only needed 109 rushing yards beginning play today to surpass Marlon Mack's single-season school record set last year. Record-smashing talent offensively for USF.
You love those records.
Do I ever? Part of my job, man. Fun. Mack's in the backfield now. Each had 100 yards rushing at SMU last week. First down play fake. Flowers is throwing. Valdez Scantling, his first catch, gets by Shaquem Griffin. And Killings shoves him out of bounds. At about the 46, gain of 13, first down for the Bulls. A lot to play for Flowers and the Bulls in this one. Trying for 10 wins. Melanie talked about that. They can still win the East Division. Need some help, though, from East Carolina tonight. QB draw. Play forced back toward the middle of the field. But Flowers is so elusive and eventually wrestled down by Dimitri Brim. Temple plays East Carolina, Corey, tonight. What do you think? Pirates in Philly? Are the Owls going to take that one when they're 6th straight?
I mean, Temple, we've seen what they've been able to do the second half of the season. Tough team to beat.
Dangerous team. You're right about that. Adams has the catch. Shaquem Griffin can't quite wrap him up. And polished off by Savon Lowry.
Got to be encouraged if you're defensive coordinator Eric Chenander in this UCF defense, because you're forcing them to get it in pieces. Even now, it's a 3rd down and 1. Make them drive the field and give really your offense time to make some adjustments on the other side.
3rd down numbers excellent for USF. Here's Mack, mesh play, and has the first down. Got about 1.5 yards. Chains move for the Bulls. As Mack closes in on 1,000 yards for the season.
Now, that was a pretty good job by Shaquem Griffin of just working around Kofi Amichia and being able to make the stop.
Here's Mack. Navigates, breaks tackles. Here it goes. Marlon Mack, foot race. End zone, touchdown, USF.
Excellent cut by Mack inside. And he was able to take it to the house. Only, I don't know if he got it in on that. They're going to probably take another look at that on the whether or not he kept his feet in bounds the last part of that run.
We might have a video review. Brandon Bears in for the PAT if we don't. We're not going to. Bears got the point after, and we are tied 7 apiece. Corey, another touchdown run for the great Marlon Mack.
But to be an excellent running back, it really comes down to patience. Now you're seeing the end of the run here, and that's just an example of his ability to run away from the world.
That looks nice, doesn't it? Covering everything from the field through fantasy. Tops puts a fresh spin on your football Sunday. Join our team tomorrow morning at 9 Eastern for that other pregame show right here in the 24-hour home of CBS Sports, CBS Sports Network. Seattle will take on the Buccaneers in this stadium tomorrow. Saw a lot of the 12th man fans in our hotel lobby today. Seahawks fans have made that long trip. New school record, 5,761 total yards. And Marlon Mack now over 1,000 for the season, 1,025. His school record, 31st rushing touchdown. 9-5 combo. Those guys are something. Bear kicks off. Good move there for Killens. Let that go to the end zone for a touchback. See how the true freshman Mackenzie Milton responds. I thought it was interesting, Corey, in our meeting yesterday with Scott Frost, really a big supporter of Mackenzie. Decided early in the year that once Justin Holman got hurt at Michigan, Milton was going to be the guy. Take the red shirt off. That was going to be his season.
Yeah, for me, if I was the coach, it would always be about week-to-week production, and he's had his moments this year. I think he's playing for the starting job for next season as well. So today's game and the bowl practice is huge for Milton.
Killens, another freshman, looks for room, can't find much. Nigel Harris smacks him, pulls him backwards. Justin Holman began the year, got hurt, hamstring injury at Michigan, and we call that exciting double overtime loss. And Mackenzie had 6 fumbles in that game. He lost 3 of them, so it's been kind of a roller coaster, but at times he's been spectacular. Great athlete, no question about that. Second down, and there's that accuracy issue intended for Killens with Sanchez right next to him. More on Mackenzie Milton. Let's go back down to Melanie.
Well, Dave, Troy Walters told us this week he was in Coach Verduzco's office at 5:30 a.m. watching film. He said, we're all behind him. We told him that we all believe in him and trust him. We wanted to give him that confidence, and he's given those quarterback tests every week, and he grasps the offense extremely well. And he said once we made that switch, we knew we were going to stick with Mackenzie.
No one does better on those tests than Mackenzie Milton. Great understanding of the offense. Top third down here, Melanie. Comes some pressure. Screen pass, airmailed over the head of Killens, incomplete.
Well, let me tell you, I think it's interesting that y'all talking about the test. I took a lot of those tests in school, and the real test is out here on Saturday afternoons. And when you got South Florida beaming down and they're bringing some pressure, will you keep the fundamentals? Will what you actually process through on those tests, will they translate to the football field? Sometimes connecting the dots, whether it be footwork or just processing information on the field, it's a struggle for him.
Houston punts to Dearness Johnson. Has an 83-yard punt return for a touchdown at Syracuse in September. That's out of bounds. This Thursday, the greatest event in rodeo rides in Las Vegas. 15 All-Stars compete for 10 consecutive nights. The Wrangler National Finals Rodeo starts Thursday at 10 Eastern right here on CBS Sports Network. Danger time in my mind here, Corey.
Well, it was set up with the missed pass and the flats by Milton, and now you punt the football and you're back to them, and they're a fast break basketball team. That's what USF is. They're coming out. How will you defend this empty? Now, a lot of times they like to run Quentin Flowers out of this formation, so you got to be ready in the box if you're a linebacker.
Double bunch formation. Flowers throwing. Deep ball, Adams open. And Killens beaten by 2 steps, but the speedster Rodney Adams, even with those great wheels, couldn't catch up with that one incomplete.
And look at all this room in the middle of the field. So now you've got a one-on-one created, and you've got a corner trying to close from the outside in on Adams, and that's DJ Killings. That's a tough assignment. You would expect the safety to be in the middle of the field, but he's taken up by one of the other threats.
Second down. Max got one touchdown already. Dimitri Brim, Shaquem Griffin involved in the stop there. Gain of 2 for Marlon Mack.
Good play by Dimitri Brim. Thought he was uneven at times a week ago, particularly when Tulsa was moving some of their linemen around and he had to get over the top. Now, it's going to be important for him to be consistent in this game with the inside running game of USF.
Third down. Flowers. Just try to tackle this guy. Throws across the field, and it's incomplete. There is a flag down.
It's probably a holding call against USF.
Covers there by Jeremy Boykins.
And others will receive it downfield. Offense, number 73. Penalties decline. 4th down.
I thought it was an excellent job by Jeremy Boykins. Now you can see where Jeremy Hall got down the field. That's normally what happens when you start running around scrambling. That's when you get those calls.
Hernandez kicks to Johnson. Now a bad botch in that loss to Tulsa right off the face mask last week on a return. Feels this one cleanly for the fair catch. Scott Frost, great college career at Nebraska on the 98 Orange Bowl, en route to the national championship. 3rd round pick, 98 NFL draft by the Jets, would play for 5 different teams in his career. Returned to college, assistant coach Chip Kelly at Oregon, and first ever head coaching job in the city beautiful, 100 miles to the east, leading UCF.
He talked about his commitment to this job and really seemed to be proud that this was his first opportunity. Loves being down here.
Hamilton breaks tackle, second level, then some. Abraham on the stop. Jawan Hamilton runs strong, gain of 12. Troy Walters telling us last night, Corey, someone's got to step up offensively, be a playmaker. Maybe it's Hamilton today.
Look at the block by Tristan Payton, number 6. He comes in and helps open it up on the outside. Receivers have to block in this offense. Payton is an excellent blocker.
First down for the Knights. Option look. Ball on the ground. Hamilton lost it. Still loose. Picked up by USF. A touchdown for USF. Jawan Brown. The scoop and score for the Bulls.
Hamilton dropped the ball last week on a fumble on 3rd down and 4. And he drops one again today. And Brown scoops it up in the right place at the right time. That's the 2nd week in a row on the same play that he drops the ball. And so that's not on Mackenzie Milton. I don't know, but
they're freshmen out there, Corey. That's a key mistake. And Milton goes right to Hamilton to say, we'll get him next time. In the meantime, it's Bear with a PAT, and it's 14-7.
well, let's take a look at Brown. He's a line on the edge, and his job is to come up. If you let it play, he's got to come up, and he's got to kind of be patient. And now he has to retrack his steps, and everybody else is in position. Just because he did his job being in position, he actually had to show some patience there. He ended up getting rewarded with the scoop and score. I thought it was an excellent job by Khalid McGee setting the force on the edge. And for UCF, the fumble problems continue. It's been a 13th fumble loss, but let's put this into perspective, 23 fumbles. So even though that was an excellent graphic, 13 fumbles they've lost. They came into the game, they fumbled it 22 times, so they could have lost even more, Dave. And I think that was an example of just, you can't give USF's defense touchdowns.
first career fumble recovery and first career touchdown for Jawan Brown. What a moment for him, the sophomore from here in Tampa. Johnny Ward late to get to his spot on kickoff coverage. And Bear kicks it off. Here's Killens. Will not venture out, takes a knee, touchback. And the Knights get it after 25. Scott Frost told us that last night. Corey, in our sit down with Melanie. Look, we're playing true freshmen, and you got to live with what they do sometimes.
Right.
Milton fumbled 6 times in a game we called. Back-to-back weeks, same exact play on the option pitch. Hamilton can't handle it, and it ends up being a disaster.
Well, he was responding to a question you had asked about a guy I talked to last night, Chris Johnson. Saw him, and he's a punt returner. He had a couple of problems with the punts, and it was a great question by you because I think it kind of gives you a feel as to why this team believes so much in Scott Frost and what he's doing.
It's a commitment to the players in Orlando. Here's Milton. Quarterback draw, freshman. Harris and Sanchez combine on the tackle. And it's out to about the 33.
And that's a matchup. If you run that play, Sanchez has to make the tackle. So you've got a hat on a hat. All of your offensive linemen can account for their blockers. And then it's just Milton against Sanchez. So that's something they may want to go back to later on.
Second down. Hamilton has the first down and then some. Juwan Hamilton shoved out of bounds by Dietrich Nichols.
It's a pretty good block by Jordan Akins and a poor angle coming downhill by Jamon Thomas, number 18. He's able to get outside of his tackle attempt. Got to be careful with the speed of UCF, the angles you take coming downhill as a safety.
So first down. Play fake. Oldham has the catch. And he's dropped right away. Hoggins with a tackle from his cornerback spot. Gain of 1.
Oh, you like those
after the play,
popping.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 19, float flag. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down. That's number 19's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
Tracy Jones tells us you can't do that. He's going to come out of the game. And it costs his team 15 yards, automatic first down, and you only get 2 of those unsportsmanlike now in college football. Here it comes, right there. Yep, that's pretty clear.
Either that or the Superman, right?
I'm okay with the Superman.
Well, it looks like they could have gone either way.
Too close. First down. Milton, Cam Stewart, intended receiver incomplete. So what do you tell a guy like Hoggins after that?
I tell him, keep celebrating. Find another way to celebrate.
Right.
Because I know, you know why I say that? If you're celebrating, what does that mean?
You're making good plays.
Exactly. So I don't want to take his enthusiasm away if I'm a coach. And I'm sure that's the type of reinforcement he's getting on the sidelines. And Hoggins is a player who has to make up for a little bit of a size deficiency. So he has to feel like he's a little bit bigger than he really is.
Milton throwing. Sideline route. Oldham has the catch in front of Jamon Thomas. I'm impressed with Mackenzie Milton. Gain of 5 there, Corey, in this first quarter. I like the poise and decision making.
I think they need to. This is where they've struggled. You mentioned it earlier. Whatever it was, 122nd in the nation. You pick up these third downs, you keep that USF offense off the field.
Third down. Milton throwing. Behind, Oldham incomplete. With Nigel Harris on coverage. So now Scott Frost, the decision to make on a short field.
And this Hector, number 60, watch him get his hands up. Excellent job by him. He's going to the contain element, and then he's able to get his hands up, and now you force them to go for it on 4th down. Maybe they go back to that quarterback draw.
Flags, whistles first. Adrian Sanat ran into Milton there.
Ball start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
It's Jordan Johnson, right guard.
You couldn't really see it from that angle, and then After the play was over, Sadat comes in and gives him a little love tap.
Little bear hug. Austin's in now, a punt. So at 4th and 10, Scott Frost will not go for it here. Out of the range of Matthew Wright. His long field goal this year is 50 yards. Good kick inside the 10.
Excellent kick. Used a drop kick on. Worked perfectly. Here's some of the plays. Now, this is the patience I was talking about earlier from Matt. He had a double team that developed, and he had to let the double team set up with Jeremy Hall. And this is the second week in a row we've seen Hamilton have a gap when it comes to ball security and a fumble. And Juwan Brown takes advantage. Those plays, difference-making plays, I believe that there's been some continuity, however, that's been established on the UCF offensive end. I don't know that the UCF defense has really gotten into a rhythm yet.
31st straight quarter scoring for Willie Taggart's team. Lots of firepower offensively. Flowers, hands off to Marlon Mack. Navigates, gets around Joey Connors, and leans ahead. Give him 3. Stopped by A.J. Wooten. Mack again. Shaquem Griffin. Tackle from behind, adding to his tremendous statistical season.
I mean, it was just an incredible play. I mean, he's working against a 6'6" offensive tackle, and you can see the plethora of 100-yard rushing games from USF this season. Too many to count.
That's tied with San Diego State and the great Donnell Pumphrey. We'll see later on our air tonight. 9 Eastern, going for the all-time FBS rushing record. None for the Knights. Maybe that changes today. 3rd down for Flowers. Throws to Mack. Great receiving running back. Rico Johnson steamrolls him, but not before Marlon Mack gets to the 19. Chains move, 1st down, gain of 8.
It's in the area that I think he's improved his game, catching the football away from his body. And now this is also, we talked about the quarterback run. They'll go verticals out of this set as well. So they can pull one of their offensive linemen for Quentin Flowers to run behind, or they'll go all verticals.
Diverse offense. Willie Taggart is the play caller. Take a shot. Post route here. Valdez Scantling had a touchdown against SMU last week. First play of the game. And a Bulls victory.
Well, that's what I was talking about, all verticals. And you can see that he knows he was going to take the shot before, and he communicated it out to his players. And that's why we talked about it in the pre-snap. Now, UCF was prepared for that formation. You could tell on the last snap they got lined up. They didn't a week ago, and it cost them a touchdown against Tulsa. That was a good job that time by their defense.
2nd down, play fake. Adams elevates. Great catch, Rodney Adams. Shaquille Griffin can't find one-on-one tackle opportunity. Rico Johnson does polish him off, but stopping the fleet-footed Rodney Adams is not easy.
I think he kept his balance and kept that right knee off the ground.
He's got some quicks, Corey.
Got to watch for the quarterback run out of this set as well.
Dearness Johnson gets the carry and has the 1st down. Last play there. There's a knee down. Ooh, that was close. That was close. But not reviewed. Too late now.
I thought he kept it off the ground, and it's an example of his flexibility.
Tremendous athleticism, Rodney Adams. End of the 1st quarter, 14-7 game. USF-UCF Sunshine State rivalry. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my wife, my kids. Been blessed. They've been a big part of my success.
Thanksgiving falls right at the end of the football season when the games start meaning a lot. and it's a good time to kind of step back and be thankful for the opportunities that we have.
Great to hear from the young head coaches, both up and coming. Willie Taggart told us before the game today he's very happy at USF. Family just moved into a new house they built. Only been there about a month. So Bull fans, I think they'll be around for a while. Although there'll be a lot of interested programs. There's so much going on today nationally. That Orgeron gets the LSU full-time job.
And you agree with that move, right?
I do. Interim no more. There's Flowers, tracked by Rucker, who makes the stop.
It's a great play by Rucker. He took on Mitchell Wilcox. He pulled around and tried to block him. He got off of Wilcox and made the play. Now, Wilcox is 250 pounds. Rucker's about 217. And he played a lot bigger on the last play.
Second down. Sweet play. Read by McDonald. And finished at the end there by TJ Mutcherson. The Iowa State transfer
man.
says hello
And
to Marlon Mack shoulder to shoulder.
I mean, he's done it all year. And he's going to come down with the purpose. You see him get off the block and wham! That's how he hits. And this is a good example you saw in the Michigan game all the way down through the season. Tulsa on the goal line last week. You pick the game, and he'll show up with the big-time hit.
3 tackles for loss in the big house against Michigan earlier this year. He's something. Third down. Go route. Adams can't quite connect with Quentin Flowers again on senior day. Rodney Adams with Mutcherson on coverage. Had a step.
You can't see it from this angle, but he beat Shaquille Griffin off the ball pretty bad. And you can see Griffin just trying to recover. And those are the passes that occasionally, all season long, have gotten away from Quentin Flowers. And you can see Sean King on the sidelines talking to him.
Hernandez, rugby-style kick to Johnson. Live football. End zone, now he grabs it, and it is a touchback. Chris Johnson, another adventure on punt return, right through his hands. Let's see, Corey.
Yeah, I don't even know if he got his hands on it, but
wow.
Even if he had, because the ball was still traveling back, that would have been the correct call. So we saw that same play a couple years back with
been interesting.
Jordan Akins against Connecticut. A similar play.
Emerald Coast Classic wraps up tonight, 7 Eastern from the Florida Panhandle with a championship game between number 7 Virginia and Providence, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports from Niceville, Florida. Cavaliers, good defense. Got Iowa in the semis. Looking forward to that tonight. Killins on first down. Stopped by Harris. So UCF dodges the bullet there.
Yeah, they did, and because there was nobody there in coverage. Because if somebody was right on top of him, it could have gone the other way.
Killins on the touch. Scott Frost told us last night they'll try to utilize their star freshman. He's got the great wheels in a lot of different situations. Three for 4 to begin the game. That effective first drive. The only night score, the Hamilton touchdown run. Cooling off since. 3rd and 5. Scrambling. Incomplete. Traquan Smith closest to it. Ward on coverage. And Milton just has to get rid of it. A lot of heat.
The coverage in the back end. Immediate break from Johnny Ward against Traquan Smith. And not bad by Devin Abraham against Bargner in the slot. And now outside, Harris picks up and contain. It was a good move inside by number 98, Mike Love, to flush him. A lot of players contributed team defense.
Houston Standard punt this time. Good kick. Ernest Johnson, fair caught at the 38. And USF takes over. 7-point game. Sunshine State rivalry. USF 14-7 leading UCF. Melanie Collins on the field, joined by a special guest, the executive director of the Orlando Sports Foundation, Alan Gooch.
Thank you, Dave. Alan is the CEO of the Cure Bowl. Tell us a little bit about what this bowl is about.
Well, Melanie, it's a fundraiser and a football game is going to break out where we're raising $1.15 million for cancer research. Like last year, we're hoping to duplicate that.
Well, without knowing the two teams yet that are going to be in it, what can viewers and fans expect to see this year?
Well, one thing that you can see is the Outer Nation girl who we call Monica Lacey. She's the Outer Nation, does all the Outer Nation commercial. She's going to flip the coin for us at halftime. And her mother is struggling with cancer. It's going to be with her. So this touches so many. Outer Nation, we're just so honored to have them as a title sponsor. They, if you've probably seen yourself with their Drive Pink campaign, has just been nationwide, and it's been great. And so you're going to see a lot of that.
Thank you for your time, Alan. The game is on CBS Sports Network. Dave, back up to you.
Can't wait. Second bowl game on our air. And what a great cause, Melanie. And Alan, thanks for that. Ernest Johnson breaks a tackle. First down and then some for JYD, the Junkyard Dog, and Willie Taggart calls him the MVP on this team loaded with stars.
Did you watch that Cure Bowl a year ago?
Yes. Exciting game.
And Tyler Irvin, what a performance.
He had a great career at San Jose State. Streak route, and Rasheed Bronson, intended receiver, his first target. Killings on coverage.
DJ Killings has come on. I was talking to Travis Fisher, the defensive backs coach, before the game, and he was proud of how he's really just matured into the player that he thought he could become. All of these secondary players, talking to Travis Fisher, scheduled to graduate. They graduated from school. Mature group on the back end.
Pick six, first drive. The loss to Tulsa last week against Dane Evans for DJ Killings. 5 defensive touchdowns this year. Knights are going to need some more great defense today against this guy, Quentin Flowers. Lets the block develop with Rasheed Bronson, and Dimitri Brema finally tracks him down. Not before a big pickup, 22 more yards for the Bulls.
They pull around number 73, Jeremy Hall, so he's running behind him, and it's off of that fake action of the fly sweep.
Bulls go fast. Brim in space trying to bring down Quentin Flowers. No easy matter. And he gets to about the 16-yard line. Tackled by Earl Clark. Gain of 5. Johnson has the catch. Griffin has him. Shaquille Griffin. Quick hit. Today's Red Zone being brought to you by Verizon. Well, 74%, well over the national average. Third down. QB run. So patient and sent backwards instead. Tony Garrard met him in the hole and drilled him.
That was an outstanding play by Garrard, just working through Kofi Amichia. And I thought that power that he displayed is what he's really shown most of the season. He's a guy who can really overpower some offensive tackles and offensive guards if he can establish his leverage. That's a big popular play for USF. Normally a scoring play. And to be able to stop that has to be a confidence boost for this UCF defense.
Here's Bear from 33. Sneaks it inside the right upright. It's good for his first field goal made. The junior from Fleming Island, Florida. Replacing the injured Emilio Nadelman. Knights hope to have Nadelman back for the ball game. For now, it's Bear's job. 3 more for USF. Being road trip facts on USF's program and their history. They started playing Jim Levitt in 1997, 20th year. Joined the FBS in 2000. Willie Taggart has certainly brought this program to some greatness, along with Quentin Flowers, the junior quarterback out of Miami. 2-10. Boy, we called the game against Syracuse last year when the program was struggling early. They beat the Orange out of the ACC and really haven't looked back since. 8-5 last year. Lost their bowl game to Western Kentucky, his alma mater. But 9-2 this year, on the verge of a school record 10th win. And a chance, if Temple loses to East Carolina tonight, to play in the American Conference Championship game. It's just been an amazing run for Willie Taggart.
And he mentioned that the seniors came here on faith, and for the seniors to lead with the most wins in school history, that would be a big deal for him.
Bear kicks off. Gillens, 8 yards deep, takes a knee for a touchback.
And really, why wouldn't it be, right, Dave? I mean, wasn't much when you were recruiting those players to say, okay, well, why would you come to this program and where we're at as a program? And there was a little bit of blind faith by a lot of these players, and those players have come to fruition right in front of his eyes.
He's put up a fence around this Bay Area. He's from the Tampa St. Pete area himself. High school star, a tremendous star at Western Kentucky. I thought the moment of the week was when I asked him on the conference call, who's a better quarterback, you or Quentin Flowers? Corey couldn't stop laughing.
I'm still laughing.
Milton throw here. Traquan Smith had a catch, and Tajay Fullwood almost runs away there. Able to make that stop against the speedy Traquan Smith, gain of 11. The bottom line is that Corey feels Willie Taggart was a better college quarterback, an amazing career at Western.
I mean, well, listen, I'm not going to take anything away from Flowers, but you got to get to 4,000 yards before we get into that conversation. 4,000 yards rushing.
That's right.
Now, Flowers has better passing numbers. I think Scott Frost ran for, what, 19 touchdowns in one season at Nebraska? So, I mean, he's no slouch at all. Over 1,000 yards rushing. Excellent quarterback in his own right.
Willie Taggart set 11 different records at Western Kentucky. Taj McGowan gets his first touch. Tremendous accolades on the field for both those guys. Awalake to stop, gain of 3, and third down. Now trying to win as head coaches. Willie's done it. Scott Frost, great turnaround in his first year.
And these are the third downs you want if you're offensive coordinator Troy Walters, because these are manageable. This is 3rd and 3. And got to find a way to convert here.
Here's McGowan. Navigates. Awalake sends it backwards and says no.
Awalake just runs through Tate Hurnley. He's coming in, playing that a little bit of that left guard. You see how he just really just bench presses him off and is able to make the play. No, Awalake is got quite a story. I'm sure you'll get into it as the game goes on, but former walk-on and just how he's earned his. He caught my eye playing special teams. You heard when I talked to them. I mean, I thought he was
a guy that size on kickoff coverage.
I mean, he really caught my eye doing that.
Houston punts to Johnson. Whistles first. And flags.
Ball start. Offense. Number 23. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Backs up the Knights 5 yards. Daniel Awalake, very difficult background. Disadvantaged in his youth. Was actually living out of his car.
Yeah.
Doing the best he could to make ends meet by himself in high school. Really self-made. A walk-on. And he's going to graduate in December. Good for him.
Absolutely. Working a full-time job. That's commitment.
No question. Not an easy fair catch there in front of Hayden Jones for Dearness Johnson. Very inspirational student athlete at USF, Daniel Awalake.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Bud Light. Raise one to right now. By Lowe's. By Go RVing. Find your away. Go RVing. And by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Welcome back to Raymond James Stadium. Bulls leading the Knights 17-7. It's senior day in Tampa, and senior Rodney Adams, while in his first year at Toledo, lost his mother Michelle Scott in a car accident. And now he very literally carries her with him every time he steps onto the football field. He wears a t-shirt covered in photos of her underneath his uniform during games. And a big part of him transferring back to USF was to be closer to his grandmother, who he drives to visit in St. Pete nearly every weekend. He was one of the last players to qualify under the old NCAA hardship rules, so he was able to suit up for the Bulls right away in 2014, and he's been making his mark here ever since, guys.
Melanie sure has. 51 catches for Adams. Starting play today, leading receiver for USF. He's been through a lot. And Willie Taggart mentioned that in our discussion with the head coach this week. Final home game scheduled anyway. They might play in the American Conference Championship game. If they win, East Carolina can upset Temple tonight. There is his grandma. We were down in the field, saw a lot of those families and friends of all the players. It's just got to be so special for Rodney to finish out his great career at USF here today.
She's got to be proud of the consistency he's shown the last couple of seasons as a Bull.
No question. What a downfield threat. And he's got the screen here. Mutcherson tries for that rock hit that we've seen so much from TJ in his career at UCF. Good pickup, 7 yards.
And you got to be fearless if you're Adams. You know he's coming in the alley and you make a move. And one of the things that is most impressive about Adams, he's just as quick going laterally as he is with his first step straight ahead.
3rd and short. Marlon Mack, patient. No whistle yet. That spot a full yard ahead of the marker. And first down for the Bulls. So the standings in the American. Only one loss for USF. That was at Temple. UCF and Temple lead. Owls with a tiebreaker over each. Adams is upended at midfield. Rico Johnson comes in. But Rodney Adams hangs on senior day. A tremendous catch, first down.
Well, this is the guy to watch. Look at the angle that he takes. He reads the play, gets on a beeline. Perfectly legal hit. And the acrobatics and the courage from Adams to make that grab.
Get it 16. Durand got there first. Jasinski finishes off Quentin Flowers. A sack for the Knights.
And Garrod came to play. And inside, he's been able to win and win consistently. And I also thought Jamias Pittman, both of these players inside, look at the activity. He runs right by Kofi Amichia and gets to the quarterback.
4.5 sacks this year for Tony Garrod. Coaches tell us, great leader on the defensive line. 12 tackles, Tulsa last week, a career best. Off the loss of 6. Mack, big pickup. Mack, still on his feet. Marlon Mack, he's going to score a USF touchdown. What a run. The Mack attack is back in Tampa. 56 yards. That was fun to watch.
The first missed tackle by Hill. And then it's Mutcherson in the middle of the field, makes him miss, makes Johnson miss, makes Griffin miss, stiff arms Killings away. What else do you want? I put it in one hand, put it back in the other hand, put it back in the other hand. Man, I thought he was juggling the ball.
Interesting ball security there as Bear has the PAT. Over 100 yards for Max. 19th in his career and 7th this year for Marlon Mack. Wow. He's special. What a player, Marlon Mack. Take a look at the Nissan Heisman Watch. Jabril Peppers, a tremendous season. Corey and I love him as potentially a 2016 Heisman Trophy winner. And right now, his Wolverines taking on Ohio State in the game. In Columbus, it's 3-0. Michigan a lead. TJ Weist, assistant coach and co-offensive coordinator at USF, was on Jim Harbaugh's staff last year. Boy, he learned a lot from Coach Harbaugh. And I'm sure he's got that game set in his DVR. Don't we all? Killins on the return. Looks for an alley. Stop shy of the 30.
The first guy that they'll leave on block is Tristan Hill. And then we can just kind of, you're going to see Norman go ahead and go up to the second. They leave him on block. So he's the first guy to miss the tackle. Here's a second, Mutcherson. Then you have a third. And then you have a fourth guy, Griffin. And then number 5 is Killins, and he just runs away from him. 5 missed tackles. They leave him unblocked. The player that could have made the play was Tristan Hill, and I think that was just an excellent balance and everything else you want to see from an excellent running back. And Max got more yards than the whole UCF offense.
Touchdown runs of 56 and 43 yards already. So on the offense need a response. End around play. And Payton is throwing. Got the big arm. Traquan Smith has got it. Now it's one-on-one with Ward. Traquan Smith the move. And a UCF touchdown. Halfback option pass. Payton to Smith. 72 yards. And the Knights are back in business.
Attempted a reverse pass a week ago with this same player, Payton. They might want to play him at quarterback. See that throw? And then it's him one-on-one with Ward, and Smith, he makes no bones about it. He's getting in the end zone. Excellent execution. Talk about USF not giving up the big play. I think that would qualify as giving up a big play.
New game. Matthew Wright in for the PAT. Knuckles it through. We told you at the top of the broadcast that Traquan Smith was a big key. And we asked Troy Walters and Scott Frost last night, Corey, about who's going to be that explosive player, take the top off of defense. And Coach Frost said it's got to be Traquan Smith. He delivers. Nice pass there for Payton, too.
Well, Smith is at the bottom. You're going to see him. He kind of fakes a little bit, then he just takes off. And at that point, it's a one-on-one with Johnny Ward, who's really playing from the outside in. He has no help. And then this ability to be able to cut back and accelerate again. I like the late acceleration from Smith to be able to pull away, and he sets it up perfectly. Looks like a block. Then he turns on the jets, and that long stride, he gets away from Ward. And I thought Dietrich Nichols had a chance to make that play. He misjudged the ball, number 3, from the other side. It was right there for him to intercept. He misjudged the ball, and that's probably the hidden part of that play. Nichols could have made the play. Smith made it. He didn't.
Tristan Payton's had some off-field issues in and out of the UCF lineup this year. All good now. Onside kick. Delahaye. The Knights have it. Surprise, surprise. And UCF has the recovery. Trey Neal. Their first onside kick all year.
Watch right here. This player here. Do you see how farther he is back? If we can rewind it just a little bit, that's the reason they're attacking him, that right tackle. He's back a little bit further than both of their up men. And when you're talking about the up men, I'm talking about the 2 centers on their front line. He's the player they were attacking in that formation. We've got a little break.
We will have a video review. Tracy Jones, our referee, tells us. Let's find out what they're looking at here.
I ran into Trey Neal, who recovered the hit. And this is what I'm talking about. You see the level. You've got 2 men up. And that's both of their centers. And the tackle.
It's definitely 10 yards. Was he inbounds? Sure looked like it. He's clearly there. He was out of bounds for a moment.
That may have been. It looked like. I don't know if we can get a good look at it from that angle, but it looked like he may have stepped out of bounds with the left foot. I don't know if that was definitive enough from that angle to overturn the original call. And talked to Trey Neal, saw him last night, ran into him in the hotel and said, "Are you going to make a play?" He said, "Hey, I made a play a couple of weeks ago. I'm planning on making another one."
He's out of bounds, Corey.
Well, let's see if he's out of bounds.
Right there.
Well, then that means it's.
Did he reestablish himself inbounds?
That's the question. That's the question. And let's see if he gets another foot in before. Let's go with a full screen zoom and see if we can get a. Well, that went a little too full screen. That's the question. If he could reestablish both feet back in bounds, or at least one, then you're able to recover the football. But if not, that's an illegal touch.
And good catch from our video replay judge Paul Zukas in the booth with us here. Press box. It's clearly 10 yards. He's in bounds when he makes the catch. He's out of bounds there for one moment, though. Let's see now. So that left foot's out of bounds.
Well, they proved that he was out of bounds. Can't be the first person to come back in and touch it. So the ability to be able to reestablish yourself back in bounds as if you're forced out of bounds. So that's a big difference. Not being forced out in this situation and just having the 1 foot on and coming back in, you can't touch it.
Here comes the call from Tracy Jones.
After review, a member of the kicking team, number 23, went out of bounds, came back and participated during the kick. It's a 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Illegal touch. Trey Neal. No onside kick recovery. A penalty instead. And it's a big break for USF.
And I think to clear up what we were talking about, again, if he had been pushed out of bounds, then he wouldn't have been able to come reestablish himself. But when you go unabated by yourself out of bounds and come back in and you're the first to touch it, that's an illegal touch. And that's pretty much what the referee saw. I was surprised from that angle that they could definitively see that that foot stepped out of bounds, but you thought he was out of bounds from up here, right?
Absolutely. Left foot definitely got the paint on the sideline. And what a tough break, though, for UCF. Designing this play so well, but you just can't count on Neal stepping out of bounds here.
This is it.
Right there.
I think that's the best look at it. And again, that's not definitive to me, but tough break for the Knights.
So a re-kick for De La Haye, 5 yards back from the 30. That's bad all around for the Knights and Scott Frost. Game changer there, Corey.
Javon DeWitt, their special teams coach, deserves a lot of credit. They attacked the tackle on that play perfectly. Near execution.
So it's Adams from the 8. Kickoff return for a touchdown. Navy last year. And Justin McDonald on special teams drags him out of bounds. Big day for Marlon Mack here in Tampa, Corey.
Well, he's got finishing speed. We already knew that. There's a balance along the sidelines. We've seen hands catching it away from his body, been able to take the contact. Now, this is the long arms, the stiff arms, back and forth. He shows to have the right stiff arm, the left stiff arm. Maybe some boxing tools in his repertoire because
I doubt Willie Taggart's going to be too happy about the ball flailing around there with the keep away he was playing. I mean, he finished the touchdown run, but that was wild, Corey.
It was.
You don't see that a lot, do you? Riveted to the rib cage, right?
He's a different player.
He sure is.
We've seen him from day one.
Adams fake the jet sweep to him. And Flowers knocked down by Drico Johnson. Gain of 5 for Quentin Flowers. Marlon Mack, 116 rushing yards, already 2 touchdowns. 20 career 100-yard rushing games. 7 this year. And then makes 15 for the Bulls this season. That's tops in the FBS. Team's explosive. Adams, screen pass, Brim. Nails him. Rodney Adams crosses the 40 to the 41. First down, USF.
And the big question every week when you play this USF offense is how will you defend these formations? And what we're talking about is you've got basically an empty formation and you've got receivers to both sides and bunch looks.
Timeout called by UCF here.
Timeout.
Scott Frost still has 2 play stoppages remaining in this first half. Coming up on the halftime report, powered by Ram Trucks, Adam Zucker, Rick Neuheisel, Brian Jones standing by in our New York studio. Get you up to speed on everything going on in college football. Pivotal day going on, certainly with Ohio State, Michigan, Auburn, Alabama, the Iron Bowl on CBS. Now we talk about the group of 5 New Year's 6 possibilities. Western beat Toledo last night, 12-0. They got the MAC championship coming up. Navy's in the American championship game.
This conference may be a little stronger than this conference, but this record means you're out. That's what I'm going to do for that drawing. 12-0, 8-2. It's not easy. I don't care what league you're playing in to go 12-0. But plus the fact, I think because the MAC, their reputation is getting hurt this year. I'm talking about Western Michigan because Eastern Michigan is good all of a sudden. Miami of Ohio is now bowl eligible with one of the more underrated defenses in the country led by Jatarius Jones. So there are a lot of other teams that they've improved, and kind of like the Pac-12. You don't like the Pac-12 as much because we're talking about Cepho Lufau. Isn't that right? Our producer, Carlo Generini.
Great Buffs quarterback. What are your Colorado's hat?
When I say that name, he twinges down our producer.
Going to have a review here off the timeout called by UCF, possibly on the spot of that last play for USF.
But what's your thoughts about that earlier, though, about...
You'll get them. Hang on. Let's watch this first.
I mean, was he down? Oh, fumble.
That's exactly what
it was a fumble. Okay. Well, I don't mind taking a look at that. That looked like that ball came loose. What's your thoughts?
First look, yes. Looked out. It was interesting as they slid to the ground, there was sort of a secondary possession there for Adams. And then it came out again. So Tracy Jones will go back to the headset here. We'll have another review.
Well, you know what's interesting? I don't think they knew it was a fumble at first. And so they had to go back.
Take a look. Brim had the hit.
I'd say that's a fumble, and that's been a problem for Rodney Adams. I mean, we can go back to a number of different games from a year ago. It's been a problem, but he's gotten it corrected a little bit.
Look at that knee. Look at the knee.
Ball's
it's
out.
It is out. Good hit by Dimitri Brim, and Drico Johnson had it. Now, as Adams was sliding, he regained it for a moment. That's when the whistle took place.
Well, you also have to determine whether Johnson stayed in bounds.
Right.
And
it looked like he did in that first look. Then he tiptoed the sideline enough.
What a job by
another huge call
with the shots. I mean, you can't say enough. That was a pretty good slow-mo.
This look you want here. Now, if we're saying the ball's out, the ball's inbounds, where's Johnson? He's in
bounds.
He's just got the 1 foot. That's all he needs.
He's in bounds.
So if that's a fumble there from Adams, we might have a recovery for Drico Johnson at UCF here. Let's have some pivotal reviews.
And it was when I was talking about Adams with the problems, a lot of it was switching the ball to the sideline you're going to. Because that way, if the guys that are coming from the inside out, if you have it on the inside arm, it's a clearer shot to it. You can see on the last play, it was in his outside arm. So he's improved this, but it was just an excellent hit by Brim. Clearly, he's in bounds. So, I mean, that's not a question. In fact, he gets 2 feet down. So,
looked like the ball's out. Here is the key look at it. Look at that knee.
The ball's out.
Ball's out.
If you say it's not out, then get rid of the replay.
But again, the question I've got is as he's sliding, he regains the ball. Is that enough for possession?
No. You're going to have to do a lot more than that for me. And you're saying because he regains possession and then is down. But I thought the ball was already coming loose before he regained the possession, Dave, to clear up your question.
Right.
So, I mean, if it's coming loose, that means you have to clearly redefine possession again if the ball was coming loose before you were down. I think that's the biggest thing, though, what you just said, that they're going to have to determine. And with this officiating crew, we knew we'd get some of these.
2 really big calls. The onside kick and now on the potential Adams fumble.
We've seen a lot of Tracy Jones. Excellent referee, but we've seen a lot of him last couple of years.
We'll call it a controversial non-targeting call in that Houston-Tulane game a couple weeks back.
Well, now he called it, and
officials on the field did call that. It was changed in the booth. Let's get this call.
There was a malfunction in the replay notification system. Prior to UCF calling timeout, we were buzzed for replay. After review, ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by UCF. The ball will be placed on the 46-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 4 minutes and 38 seconds. UCF will not be a charged timeout, and they will have 3 remaining.
Wow. So all good for Scott Frost and the Knights here. They've got the timeout restored and the football in great field position, the fumble from Adams.
Well, Adams, this has been an issue. We've already mentioned that, but he tried to get it back. You made a good point. Brim knocked it away again. He said, you're not getting it back. And then Johnson, who I believe has improved tremendously as a tackler as this season has gone on. What a recovery.
Pivotal play for the Knights. They take over. Dontravius Wilson gets involved and slides through traffic for about 4 on first down. So things can really change here for #UCFast. With their star freshman quarterback, Mackenzie Milton, running the show. Second down. Little sidearm delivery to Smith. Got another catch. Tackled by Huggins.
Here we go, third down. Where do you go? Do you go back to the matchup at the bottom with Smith? He's into a rhythm, but this could also be a quarterback run.
Third down numbers, big struggle last week. Lost to Tulsa. Same today here in Tampa. Milton slings it in traffic and broke it up incomplete. Sanchez on coverage against Taylor Oldham. Now what Scott Frost got in mind here on 4th and 3.
And I thought Khalid McGee got away with one. He kind of grabbed around that waist of Taylor Oldham and he kind of poured himself and propelled himself to that pass breakup. You got to go for it to build on the momentum of that fumble recovery.
31st attempt of the year on 4th down. And Milton and Smith are not on the same page, but there's a late hit here.
Yeah,
and it's going to be 15 yards, a personal foul, and an automatic first down for UCF.
Thought it might be Augie Sanchez coming off the edge. Got him. And he timed the blitz up perfectly, but it looks like it might be, this could even be a targeting call. And I'm not sure if that would be huge if this is a targeting call. I don't think it is a targeting call, but it is a late hit.
There were 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, intentional grounding, offense, number 9. Penalties were offset, 4th down.
Wow. And USF dodges a big-time bullet, replaying 4th down.
Okay, now, I don't understand the intentional grounding. And because let's see if the ball gets back to the line of scrimmage. It does. He's throwing in the direction of Traquan Smith. I don't understand that call. I really don't. I mean, and then they're stopping play again. And Scott Frost, he has to, you got to, I don't know what you can say about that, but why is that intentional grounding? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What was that about? So if it is intentional grounding, I don't agree with the call. I want to make that clear.
I'm absolutely with you on that, because it's cross-line of scrimmage, and Scott Frost wants further explanation here on that exact issue.
What are you talking about? I mean, wait a minute. We've got. I just want to make one thing clear. Look at the receiver at the bottom of the screen right here. He's going to run a cut. Now, that's miscommunication, but he's throwing it in the direction of that guy. That's not intentional grounding. So, first of all, it should only be a penalty on USF. I do not get that one. Wow.
And Scott Frost has his explanation, and we're going to replay 4th and 3.
Whoa. They're really going to roll with that, huh?
Going to stand.
Intentional grounding. Wow.
Snelson in motion. Smith, sticks route, has the catch. Where's the spot?
It's first down.
Looks good. First down, UCF. What a conversion from Mackenzie Milton and Traquan Smith.
And good for Milton. Stands in the pocket, gets his feet set. Not necessarily a tight spiral, but on time. And that's what you have to do on 3rd down against a defense that does not press a lot. And what I mean by that, Dave, they're rarely in the faces of wide receivers. They like to play off. Look at the room. You got a lot of off coverage from this USF defense.
So first down. Milton takes his time, delivers to Akins. Had 2 early catches, cut down by Ronnie Hoggins. And Akins spent 4 years in the Texas Rangers minor league system. I'll start with Adams, had that fumble. He had a big one last week against SMU. Jackson Mitchell rocked him on a kickoff coverage. Hamilton bouncing around, tossed out by Hoggins again.
Kind of surprised he didn't see that Hoggins was coming on a cornerback blitz off the edge. Maybe he could have checked that one and thrown it to Smith. Safety having to cover him when he is in that type of position, but he ran right into the play that they had called.
3rd and 2. Milton looks for the edge, not going to find it. Livingstone finds him. And then a big hit right at the sideline as well. Colin McGee.
I'm not excited about that call. I mean, is Milton that fast? Is he going to outrun the USF defense to the sidelines?
Not to the edge. Nope.
I mean, Livingstone ran him down. Livingstone is 275 pounds. So I'm not sure about the last call. Here, if you're UCF, you got to get the ball back down here to Traquan Smith.
Timeout call by Scott Frost. Great timeout here with less than 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Timeout. UCF. Their first charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
Eventful second half of this second quarter, to say the least. Second ever American Conference Championship game is coming up next week. Navy is in. They've won the West already. Well, the question is, who will host the game? So Temple with a win tonight and a Navy loss. The Owls will host at Lincoln Financial Field. There's a scenario USF will host if they win the East, which is a Temple loss to East Carolina tonight. And Navy could host. The average computer rating of the 4 different polls, that'll be done tomorrow morning if you have that tiebreaker to determine who hosts the title game next week.
What I find most interesting in the graphic, no Houston.
3 losses.
They're ranked the highest of any American team.
All right, big 4th and 6. Scott Frost off the timeout, going for it again. Roll those dice. His kicker, Matthew Wright's been very reliable this year. He wants a touchdown. Play fake to Wilson. Milton flushed, throws on the move, and it's incomplete. Peyton Akins in the vicinity, and USF takes over.
Raymond Woody calls up a blitz. He knows that you've got them in some type of situation where you can come back and confuse these offensive linemen. Look at they twist inside. Now Augie Sanchez is free, and now Milton is just running all over the place. That's one of their popular pressure concepts. Now they're still playing zone behind it. Look at the coverage. Excellent on the outside against Peyton by Hoggins, and look at him close back. So perfect call. And when we talk to Raymond Woody, their defensive coordinator, he knows it's a challenge to play on the other side of this offense. One of the last ranked offenses, one of the offenses ranked, and they're the bottom in time of possession. Only 26 minutes per game for this USF offense.
So the Bulls take over, and here's Flowers. Pulled down by Mark Rucker and Earl Clark. Well, a minute 40 and counting and 3 timeouts. The Bulls could score twice. That's just plenty of time.
Right.
Now Bear, their kicker, is getting ready. The junior from Fleming Island, Florida. Taking over for the injured Emilio Nadelman. We told you that story earlier in the broadcast. 9 one-play scoring drives this year for USF. Here's Adams. Plays just blown up by Shaquille Griffin. Or is it Shaquem? It's Shaquem.
They take turns.
Wow.
And he gets off the block of a 250-pound tight end in Mitchell.
What a play.
Wilcott. And I like it when you get excited about those plays, because that's really what it's all about, right? Football is a contact sport. Nobody does it better than Shaquem Griffin.
Tremendous story.
Tremendous player.
Timeout called by USF. Griffin twins from St. Petersburg. Family and friends are here. They got 23 family members at Raymond James Stadium today to watch them play.
And I want to say something about the Shaquem Griffin. I don't think he thinks it's a story. He's not concerned about what everybody else thinks. He's concerned when he's on the football field of imposing his mentality on you on the other side. And I don't think people want to play against him. I really don't. Would you?
No. We've seen him blow up double teams all year long and make plays like that against Wilcox, who is much bigger.
And now he's from down this way, Lakewood High School. I want everybody to know. Take a look at him. Well, that's actually Shaquille Griffin. We're talking about Shaquem Griffin. Shaquem, even with the deformity of the arm, 2012, Dave, he was a state triple jump champion. He's an athlete right here, state triple jump champion. He's never let any problem that he's had with this condition, you know, get to him. And boy, he's jumping through blocks today.
4 tackles first half for Shaquem. Off the timeout, 3rd down. Design QB run. Flowers so patient, and Garrod drills him again. Tony Garrod's been everywhere today for UCF.
Yes.
Timeout for the Knights. 42 seconds left in the first half. They got 1 left.
I think USF is learning today about 3rd downs. It's tough to get a 3rd down conversion against this defense. They're 11th in the country on 3rd down defense. And look at Pittman. He's coming to the ball, then you run into Garrod. And it's just an example of keeping your pass rush lanes. That's what you got to be able to do against Flowers. And the discipline, man, you got to give this defensive line coach for UCF, Mike Dawson, a lot of credit in terms of how he has this unit playing week to week.
30.3% is all that the defense led by Jemias Pittman up front allowing on 3rd downs. Tops in the American Conference. So John Hernandez back out to punt here. Off the timeout.
Would you go after this again? They've come close a couple times on the block.
Absolutely. Had a block. Touchdown against Cincinnati. Not this time. Chris Johnson stays clear of the ball. And Alex Salvato, long snapper, will down it for USF at the 16. Onside kick almost worked, didn't it?
It did. That left foot being out of bounds, and then this fumble by Adams. Dimitri Brim, the Virginia transfer, with just an incredible play. Scott Frost has done a magnificent job. He's got to be happy with how his football team has responded. Whenever USF has gotten other teams on the ropes, they haven't always done that. I think UCF has done an outstanding job of responding this afternoon.
28 seconds and 1 timeout. Milton is throwing. Frederick Snelson on 1 knee, and the clock rolls. There's a timeout. Couldn't get out of bounds. Gain of 4. And the Knights use their last timeout.
I thought you mentioned something earlier about Matthew Wright. And Matthew Wright and how successful he's been in recent weeks. And this is an example of him having his knee down, Snelson, when he made the catch. But if you can get the ball somewhere in that 35-yard range, you got a shot, I believe, with him to at least give him a shot from around the 50-yard mark. So, Wright, there he goes. 50 yards is his career long. That was October 22nd. And I'll tell you what, after what we saw this past Thanksgiving, with what Matthew Prater did, former UCF Knight, and how he won the game, I'd give this kid as many shots as possible kicking field goals today.
Wright made 2 against Tulsa in that 15-point loss to the Golden Hurricane last week. So 2nd down. No timeouts left. Pump fake. Double move. It's going to be Traquan Smith, but overthrown with Hoggins on coverage.
Man, he had a shot at that one. He comes here, and then you've got to hit him in that area, and he's a little bit late. If you can hit him in that area in between the voided zone, he might have had a chance to kind of take him away from Hoggins, who wasn't in bad shape. But that was a pretty good route by Smith.
3rd down. Jawan Hamilton, the freshman, stopped. Colin McGee nails him in space.
You said it.
And that ends the first half. A resounding tackle.
Where's the hammer? He did nail it. And I tell you, he's been doing that. The last game I saw, he's been tackling with some force. He's keeping some veterans on the bench. He's playing well.
116 rushing yards, 2 long touchdown runs for Marlon Mack, a big story. Traquan Smith, 124 receiving yards and a touchdown in that first half for UCF. Willie Taggart, Bulls head coach, joined by Melanie on the field.
Thank you, Dave. Coach, a couple dodged bullets in the first half, and the score doesn't reflect it, but that UCF defense doing a great job of keeping pressure on Quentin Flowers, forcing him to get his yards in smaller chunks. How do you adjust?
Well, Quentin got to stop dancing. UCL's a fast defense, and they do a good job running to the ball, so he can't dance around like you do on most teams. He's got to put his foot in the ground and go and get the positive yards right now. So he just got to settle down, stop dancing around, and just make plays.
One thing that has worked for you offensively is Marlon Mack. 2 touchdowns in the first half. How's he been able to be so explosive?
Well, Marlon's a hell of a player, and he did a good job of running, breaking tackles, and making plays for us. So we need him to keep doing that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Melanie, Coach Taggart, thanks. End of the first half, 24-14 game. Bulls over the Knights. Stay tuned. The Ram Trucks halftime report coming your way right after the break. Beautiful St. Pete Beach, not far from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. USF, UCF, we're at halftime, and the Bulls have a 10-point lead on the Knights. USF trying for a school record 10th win of the season against UCF. Their rivals from 100 miles to the east. Welcome back, everyone, to Tampa. Dave Ryan, Corey Chavis, our final half together. Are you ready for a great 30 minutes of football?
Are you happy about that?
Absolutely not. It's been a great season. And we've enjoyed watching players like Marlon Mack run for 116 first half yards and 2 touchdowns.
He's been tremendous, and we knew that he would be. But right here, look at the patience. I mean, now you've got the down blocks. Pretty good job by Kofi Amichia and also Jeremy Hall. Look at him hide behind his center. Right at the point of attack, he's going to hide behind Cameron Ruff and show the vision. He's hiding. They can't find him, Dave. Look at him. He hides behind him, makes a cut, and that, to me, is what separates him from the other backs in this conference. And on the other side, we're going to pull out all the stops. Now, Traquan Smith is going to run this post route. The only player that can stop it is Dietrich Nichols. Why? His man goes in motion to throw a reverse pass. So here goes Nichols. He's got a chance. Nobody to cover, and now I can go back and pick off this pass. Dave, is he going to get there? Let's take a look. He's got a good close, never finds the ball. Smith does. It's a touchdown for UCF. Excellent creation by Troy Walters, their offensive coordinator, to get that score.
Our lending tree first half stats. Rushing yards, wow. USF almost 200 in the opening 30, Corey.
And I think a lot of it had to do with the big runs. I thought that they managed some of the other situations. They kept Quentin Flowers, who arguably is this conference's player of the year, under control, but they could not stop this guy. Marlon Mack, outstanding first half.
Saw that 1 for 9 for the Knights on third down conversions. They made their first third down try on the touchdown drive to begin the game for Scott Frost, then 0 for their last 8 to end that first half. That's got to change in half number 2. Delahaye will kick off here for the Knights. Second half is underway. Adams watches that sail through the end zone for a touchback. Back down to Melanie Collins.
Thank you, Dave. Well, some tough breaks for this UCF team in the first half. Scott Frost told me just before the second half, he told his guys to keep fighting and take care of the football. He said this USF team is too good to be missing tackles like they have been, especially against Marlon Mack. I asked him about that halfback option pass to Traquan Smith. He said that was one of our better plays, and we're going to need a couple of those to beat this team, guys.
Well, easy, Melanie, against this high-flying, high-scoring offensive attack led by Marlon Mack. Average 11.6 yards a carry in the first half and 2 spectacular touchdown runs. Adams in motion. Fake the jet sweep to him. Marlon Mack. Good pickup. First down and then some. Pumped out of bounds by DJ Killings. Mack adds to his total.
Well, you're going against two different plays, and Adams provides the cheese. Brim can't get off the block, and then Murchison, again, misses a tackle in the alley.
Adams has the catch and is dropped right away. Shaquille Griffin. Shaquille's a senior. Shaquem, Defensive Player of the Year favorite in the American Conference, is a redshirt junior. So this is the final regular season game for Shaquille.
Shaquille's an interesting player. He's played safety and corner, often intermittently during games. Bench presses over 400 pounds.
Second out, Flowers loose. Quentin Flowers has the edge, has the first down, and a whole lot more. Here he goes, Quentin Flowers. Touchdown, USF. He's incredible.
Well, the first player that misses is Rucker. And then on the edge, you're going to get a block from Mack here late. Really, he just outruns Mack. And there's nobody other than maybe Griffin from the other side that can even come close. I asked the coaches this year about the pulled hamstring against Temple. They said on the next practice they had, he was running full speed again. They never seen anything like it.
Didn't miss a beat, did he? Bears PAT, 62-yard touchdown run for Quentin Flowers. He's got 14 touchdown runs. Max got 15 with a pair today. He might just be the best running back in the American Conference, and he's a quarterback. He's Quentin Flowers. Amazing. Let's take a look at this week's college football playoff poll powered by Ram Trucks. Corey, it is 10-7 Wolverines.
Wow. And the Wolverines, they win that game. It's essentially an elimination game. Ohio State, forget about them in the playoff. They're out. And a new school record for Quentin Flowers. I just wonder, can he keep it if Max stays in school? You never know what happens. But these two guys, two 1,000-yard rushers on the same team.
Amazing firepower. Killins on the return, 1 yard deep in his end zone, knocked down shy of the 20.
Well, I think this Wisconsin defense earning respect, and no matter what, they've got a chance, depending on how some things fall, to maybe be in the Big Ten championship game. Oklahoma is still in a position, even with the 2 losses, for the Big 12 to slide in and they can beat Oklahoma State, because remember, they're playing on championship weekend and they do not have a championship game. And then if Colorado can defeat Utah, that Pac-12 champion could make the playoff, because it ups the Colorado ante. And then if Washington beats them, I think Washington gets in. And the same thing if Colorado wins.
So many storylines, Corey. Gotta love it. Milton throwing. Taylor Holder has the catch in front of Huggins. And a good pickup for UCF.
And this was his best throw of the game. And I think that you can see his footwork. You see how he turns his shoulders. And still a little bit late, but it was a longer throw and one that his footwork had to be in place on.
Gain of 10. Hamilton gets out to the 30.
Well, for UCF, it's about finding a way to stay on the field. That keeps the USF offense off the field. That means on third down, you're 1 out of 9 on third downs in the first half.
Here's second down. Akins, another catch. Colin McGee can't make the play, but Augie Sanchez can. Team's leading tackler. And second in the American Conference behind Cincinnati's Eric Wilson. Good pickup, though, for UCF. They're on the move. Gave him 13 yards.
And you avoid third down because you got that gain on second down. And for USF, they've got to not give up the big plays.
Play fake. Akins, another catch. Nichols trying to take on big Jordan Akins. Not a good idea. Back down to Melanie Collins.
Thanks, Dave. Well, one of the things Scott Frost told us in regards to Mackenzie Milton is that he's a guy who doesn't have to make a mistake a bunch of times. He's really sharp when it comes to the X's and O's of the game, and he said the biggest challenge has been coaching him to limit the chances he takes without taking the playmaker out of him. He said he has to know when to be Superman and when to retire his aircraft.
Not always easy, right, Mel, to make those decisions. Tajay Fullwood slams down Juwan Hamilton. It's a good pickup. Chains will move here for UCF. It looks like As Melanie talked about, those decisions right now are pretty good for Mackenzie Milton.
They are, and I believe that retiring in air grab, I like that, because sometimes just taking what the defense gives, not a bad idea if you're going to stay out of those third and long situations.
Here's first down, play fake. Milton is throwing over the middle. Traquan Smith has it. Nichols, the tackle. And another good pickup to the 29-yard line. First down, and Traquan Smith is slow to get up for UCF. It's a gain of 18 yards.
Well, that would be a big loss, and that play action attacked the USF safety.
Smith having a huge game today.
Like his leg may have gotten caught behind himself on the tackle by Nichols.
6 catches, 142 yards. The touchdown on that option pass from Tristan Payton. And good news, walking off the field under his own power. He's really quite a story.
Yeah, they needed him to step up, and quite frankly, the last couple of games, you know, there was a drop last week. I saw some trouble against press coverage, and I did like how he played against Houston, which was an encouraging sign for this football team. So today I think you're seeing more of the player that was arguably the best freshman in the conference a year ago.
Rookie of the Year in the American last year. He's got all 4 100-yard receiving games for UCF this year, including today. Knights have no 100-yard rushing games all year. Here's first down. Milton set up screen pass. Taj McGowan has the catch. And a first down. Tajay Fullwood on Taj McGowan. Lit him up with a big hit. But the Knights are moving very well here in this drive.
Well, these linemen, they're going to get out and do a pretty good job of lead blocking. Now you've got Jordan Johnson, who actually makes a block, and then a good tackle by the safety gets him on the ground.
Whistles and flags before that pass to Tristan Payton. Can be
Ball
complete.
start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Jake Brown, redshirt freshman from California. Guilty party there for UCF.
Can't get behind the chains if you're getting something going. And this is a drive that they got to be pretty happy with how things have gone. He's trying to get a head start on an unnecessary play. That's a screen outside. No reason to get a head start on that play.
First down. Snelson the catch. Tackle Dietrich Nichols, who closed, pad popper, and hung on.
He did. He didn't. Hung on in the key part. It's one thing to hit. It's another thing to wrap. This is called tackling. Sometimes you see players come up and they make the highlight film hit. That's not tackling. That's a tackle. Bring your arms if you want to be a tackler. Dietrich Nichols is.
Augie Sanchez leads his team in tackles, but Nichols might be their defensive MVP. He's made some huge plays for them. Killings, trouble, Nichols again, and Nigel Harris. Don't fall for the fake, it's a loss of 2.
Like a Statue of Liberty with
a Statue of Liberty play. I like that ball handling.
But there's a tackle again, right? And tackling always shows up if you do it the right way. And good job by Harris getting off a block as well. Cam Stewart tried to come in and block him. He said, no way. And you see those numbers, this is a player who makes plays all over the field.
Third down. Screen pass, Taj McGowan. Dietrich Nichols in space, does it again.
Tackle. And that was as impressive of 3 consecutive plays that I've seen from a corner this season. And he hasn't had his best game in coverage. He's been only okay thus far, but to come up and make those 3 tackles and limit them potentially to 3 says a lot.
37 yards out, long for Matthew Wright. 50, made 4 against South Carolina State to open the season. Knights need this. And they've got it. Inside the left upright.
He's on a roll.
31-17. Made a couple long ones, 45 yards plus against Tulsa last week. Hits this one against the Bulls today.
Look at the
two-score
celebration.
Game. Moore Jr. End zone. Touchdown, Houston.
Brewer the carry, he breaks free. D'Angelo Brewer, touchdown, Tulsa.
Worth keeps, and Will Worth spins in for a score. Navy has its biggest upset victory in 32 years.
Great moments, American Conference this year on CBS Sports Network. Will Worth and Navy. SMU today to finish up their regular season. 22 rushing touchdowns for Will Worth. Quentin Flowers and Worth have had just tremendous seasons. I know your offensive MVP in the league probably is Flowers. I've got Will Worth.
Oh, really?
Tago Smith was going to be the starter quarterback, right? Got hurt game 1 for Navy, and Worth has taken over and been tremendous. But then, again, how do you vote against Quentin Flowers? That's through the end zone. De La Haye's kick for a touchback. Back down to Melanie.
Thanks, Dave. Well, just an update on UCF wide receiver Traquan Smith. It looked like he had tweaked his left ankle, but he's been running and cutting on the sideline. His return is very probable. And remember, as natural of a talent as he is, he actually had to be convinced to play the sport at one point. He didn't even touch a football until his freshman year of high school. And after a breakout performance, he just quit 4 games in. He said he felt like he didn't understand the game and wanted to go back to playing basketball. But after some convincing from coaches and players, he played his first full season during his junior year of high school. And he said because of that, he's kind of a late bloomer and still learning about the game. Couldn't tell, right, guys?
Out of Delray Beach, Florida. 8 career touchdowns now, Melanie. Gifted athlete, and the Knights hope he can remain in the game today. Marlon Mack has the carry and churns ahead to the 30. Got 5 yards.
He's going to need, Smith is going to need some football toughness to make it through this type of game. It's a rivalry game, and he likes that basketball court, but when you have those types of nicks and bruises and this type of game, you got to kind of tough it out and mentally work through it, kind of like he did in coming back to football.
Fake that jet sweep. Marlon Mack again stays busy and grinds ahead. Shy of the marker, needs a 35 for a first down. 2 more yards for Marlon Mack. 135 rushing yards of the day. We saw a moment ago, bottom of your screen, USF still has a chance to host the American Conference Championship game next week. Need some help from East Carolina to beat Temple tonight. Big third down here. 2-score game. Knights would love a stop and get Traquan Smith, the offense, back in the field.
I wonder would they maybe even bring a little bit of pressure against this look, because normally, you get those spread looks from USF. This is more of a closed down look. Will they bring some pressure?
Big play. Mack bounces outside. First down, then some. Marlon Mack. There are 2 flags down, though, in the backfield. This could come back for holding.
And I think it's on number 73, Jeremy Hall again.
Offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty. Third down.
Oh, they got Kane and Dillon. This is Dillon. That's the hold up top. Doesn't allow number 47, Gerard Boykins, to get off. That's a good job by Boykins holding the edge, and that completely changes everything. Now, in these situations, third down, 15, 11, 14, Flowers will run it. So you got to be careful when they spread out, which they're doing, the vertical passing game, and then Flowers keeping it.
TJ Weist, quarterback's coach, co-offensive coordinator, got that red shirt so Quentin Flowers and the offense can find him. He's the only red shirt on the sideline for USF on your screen there. There's that last signal to check with me with 5 on the play clock. Great look from our crew there. Third down. Mack, lots of time. There he goes. Pulls by Rucker. Mark Rucker with a big play. Knocks him down. Woo. It's a loss of 5.
Man, that was a decision. That's when you make a decision and just go. And watch Rucker. And when he makes this decision, he's going to hit the accelerator button. And woo! And that was an excellent tackle. You see down the field, they're playing a little bit of zone coverage, and they're passing some routes off. And excellent job by Eric Chenander in this UCF defense.
Hernandez kicks to Johnson. Chris Johnson. Nigel Harris can't find him on the sideline. Bumped out of bounds. Good field position here for UCF. And all of a sudden, Knights with a chance to make this very interesting, this rivalry game today. On CBS has a holiday double play. First, the Bengals take on the Ravens, and the Panthers rumble with the Raiders. Check local listings beginning with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. Some prominent UCF Knights in the NFL. Dante Culpepper. Brandon Marshall, safety and wide receiver for the Knights. Latavius Murray, great running back now for the Raiders. And current Jacks quarterback Blake Bortles.
Tell you what, Peter Rizzo, man, it's all about graphics and he keeps the show rolling down in the truck. And he got a chance to meet Dante Culpepper. Pretty happy about that moment for Peter. He was pretty happy about getting his roll on with Dante Culpepper.
He was thrilled. You might have facilitated that.
Not at all.
It was very nice of you.
Just showed up.
First down.
Got to meet Peter Rizzo.
Milton throwing. And no drop. Hey, Godwin had a couple chances to pick that and somehow doesn't come down with the interception at the 10-yard line. Incomplete.
Well, he lost the ball. They're going to try to throw something vertical. Here's Godwin. He's back where he's supposed to be. It's an overthrow. You've got an open man in the middle, and Oldham, and trust me, Nate, I've dropped some too.
Senior from here in Tampa on senior day. He's got one career pick. That would have been a special memory, but incomplete pass. UCF going to go fast here.
I promise you one thing, he'll remember it.
Third down. Play fake. Pressure from Sanchez. And Milton delivers. On the money, Traquan Smith has returned and makes a big catch. Gain of 12 to the 31st down Knights.
And Melanie talked about what would happen. And look at how he's developed, wanting to play basketball, sitting down in the zone. That shows how much he's come along as a receiver, understanding the game.
QB draw. Mackenzie Milton runs right at Nigel Harris, trying to extend that ball. That was dangerous with the ball security, almost lost it. But it's a good pickup for the freshman from Hawaii, who has really settled down nicely in this game. Gain of 7.
And I like him better as a passer. You might find this hard to believe than even sometimes as a runner. I like him throwing on the move.
Hamilton gets by Mike Love, has a first down, gets physical with Hoggins, and leans ahead, polished off by Awalake, gets to the 15-yard line. Another UCF first down, gain of 8.
Well, it was Jordan Johnson, number 72, who got out again and made an excellent block. He's a pretty good blocker in space, their right guard.
Injured USF player.
And remember, Jake Brown, number 77, is replacing Wyatt Miller on that right side. So any success you have running the ball to that side has to make you feel real good if your offensive coordinator, Troy Walters.
Junior from here in Tampa, Tajay Fullwood. Ran a career high 12 tackles against SMU last week. A pick at the Carry Dome against Syracuse earlier in the year.
I thought he came to hit a week ago. And he led with some fervor as a tackler. And this just looks like some friendly fire from Daniel Awalake.
First down. Play fake to McGowan. Pass play. Franks has a catch. Stopped by Sanchez. Jordan Franks, first touch of the day. Today's Red Zone being brought to you by Verizon. Touchdown early. Opening drive of the game in the first quarter. Capped off by Juwan Hamilton. That was a gain of 7. Second down. Taj McGowan navigates Nigel Harris and Hoggins combining the tackle. But he gets inside the 5. It's another UCF first down. First and goal, gain of 5. Knights going fast here, not wasting any time. McGowan, end zone, touchdown UCF. That looked easy. He walks in. And the Knights came to play today in this rivalry game, putting pressure on USF.
Well, number 66, Aaron Evans, and also Jordan Akins over here on this side. They're going to make some pretty good blocks block to open it up. And then you get the kick out block for number 15, Jordan Franks. So running to that left side, they've been running up inside. I also think Jason Ray, who we talked to earlier this week, he's done a pretty good job inside, particularly on that last possession.
Matthew Wright has the point after. And we, Corey Chavis, have ourselves a one-score game.
Well, time is running out. And if you want to make a stand, it has to be at the point of attack. And you're South Florida, you got to come to tackle.
Let's have a look at today's Bud Light game summary, Corey. It is all USF rushing yard category, all UCF of passing.
One thing that's been most interesting is the number of the selection. I mean, going into in the first half, UCF ran the ball 8 times on first down, only threw it 10. And then on the other side, USF, they ran the ball 13 times on first down and only passed it 4. So clear difference in terms of that one team wanting to be balanced and USF coming into this game saying, guess what, we're going to run the football at this UCF front and let's see how you can handle it. It's been a tough process so far trying to get that run game contained for this Knights defense.
I'll give Milton a lot of credit. He had a tough game last week, that loss to Tulsa. Issues with accuracy, decision making. Today he has come to play, and it's been a different story. And you see why Scott Frost has so much confidence in his young quarterback. And the Knights are pumped, and why not? Taylor Hay kicks off, and Adams won't even bother. That's over his head out of the end zone for a touchback.
It all started with this run outside, and we talked about the people blocking, and there was an accurate throw to Franks on the edge. That enabled them to, again, stay in a manageable situation. And Taj McGowan, he's able to put it in the end zone, and I thought he ran hard down near the goal line. But if you're going to be able to get over the top in terms of this game, the UCF defense all year long, they've created turnovers. They need one now.
Max run for 135, Flowers for 106 in this game. First down. Marlon Mack bounces off a couple tacklers, cleaned up there by Dimitri Brim. So USF trying to go to 7-1 in league play. Temple plays East Carolina tonight at the Lincoln Philly. If the Pirates and Zay Jones can pull off the upset, USF wins. USF will be East Division champs and have a chance to host the American Conference Championship game. Navy is in already. They won the West. Whistles and flags.
It's a false start on the right guard. I'm thinking.
False start. Offense. Number 75. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Kofi Amichia.
I thought it might have been on Dominique Threet, but regardless, backs them up 5, and that's what you want if you're UCF. You want to get them in a more predictable down and distance. Although with Quentin Flowers in the backfield, nothing is predictable.
6-time overall, 5th this year that Flowers and Mack have each run for 100 yards in the same game. These guys are weapons. Second down. Screen pass, Adams. Rico Johnson, Savon Lowry finishes him off. Wilcox, a good block on the edge there against Shaquille Griffin. It's a gain of 10.
What a good call, Rhino. I mean, that was one of the best blocks you'll see in space. That's why they're so impressed with him in his development.
Big third down. Mesh play, Mack leans ahead.
He's short.
That first spot looked short. You're right, half a yard, maybe more. And fourth down coming up. He, after the contact, leaned ahead, but marked down a full half-yard shy. Let's see.
I don't think you worry about, and he was. And
yeah, good call.
And I think this is the correct decision by Willie Taggart to punt the football. And let's make UCF prove they can score again on our defense. And that drive did at least give the USF defense a little bit of a break.
Hernandez to Johnson. Johnson from the 19. Dropped right away. USF took on Temple last month in Philly. Raquel Armstead Show, sophomore running back, rushed for a career best 210 yards. 2 touchdowns against the Bulls that night. Matt Rule and Temple knocked off Willie Taggart and USF 46-30. The only league loss this year for USF. What a job Matt Rule has done after those early losses. Army, we called that with Melanie at the link. The loss at Penn State. They've won 5 straight.
And most of it has been because of what you saw in the highlight clips. They've been able to establish a running game and change the personality. Although in the last game, Phillip Walker had a pretty good game throwing.
Back-to-back shutouts, defense playing great. Cam Stewart has the catch. Colin McGee, Dietrich Nichols come out of the tackle outside the 25. But Milton staying solid here. He's had a very good second half to bring the Knights within 1 score. Gain of 6. Augie Sanchez gets physical outside the 30. With Juwan Hamilton, another key 3rd down coming up.
Well, I mean, for me, if you're going to sit back on this 3rd down and they're going to play off of you outside, and there's a look at Sanchez, but what I mean by playing off, if they're going to give you some room out here, then you might want to just take a chance and throw a little quick pass to those receivers outside. Now, it looks like they're going to give him that room.
Play fake. Milton, edge, 1st down, and then some. Johnny Ward makes the play at the 34, but the chains move for UCF. Big conversion.
Well, his job is to read the edge point, and Livingstone goes down inside, and then once that mesh point has been established and he reads it, he made the correct decision in getting the 1st down.
First down. Hamilton looks for room. Stopped there by Augie Sanchez. Melanie has more on the defensive line for USF.
Well, guys, before this series, I was listening to defensive line coach Eric Mathis. He's frustrated with the line. He's telling the guys 3 things. 1, we've got to get more pressure on these guys. Number 2, we have to tackle, make some tackles. And 3, they're trying to change the tempo. We've got to get lined up. You can't get caught not lined up.
Deep ball, Cam Stewart, Melanie, and they almost connect on the go route. Incomplete. Stewart had a step again.
And to Melanie's point, the defense didn't get lined up on that play, and then you don't have a safety in the middle of the field. And if not for an excellent play by Nichols, that could have been a touchdown.
Third down. Payton going to throw again. 2nd time. Smith can't catch up with it. With coverage from Jamon Thomas. Payton is hurt. Already connected with Traquan Smith on a touchdown on that option pass early in the game.
I thought Thomas was disciplined on the last snap. And here's Thomas. Now watch him. You think he's going to bite up? No way, not this time. He stays back deep, and then he turns and runs when it becomes a scramble drill. And then here's the hit on Payton as he's releasing it. It didn't look like a big lick, but certainly put him down.
Houston punts to Dearness Johnson. Alexi received that and gets absolutely drilled. Gage Marshall, the long snapper for UCF, so effective on special teams, just pops Dearness Johnson. Justin McDonald there too.
And that was a pretty good shot. I thought he was solid in coverage the first game that I checked him out against South Carolina State, and it's kind of been that way off and on during the year. You never expect your long snappers. They don't account. The punt return unit does not account for the long snapper. In fact, he goes unblocked 85% of the time. So if he makes the tackle, you live with it as a special teams coach.
Flowers in the offense back on the field. Matt, big run. Shaquille Griffin shoves him out of bounds. First down and then some, though, for Marlon Mack, adding to his totals.
And Rodney Adams is as big a part of this run as anybody because you've got the linebackers with two different keys.
158 rushing yards. First down. Adams. No whistle. Do we hear a whistle there? Is that a backwards pass? Hang on a second. Now it's called incomplete.
That's going to be
that went backwards. That would have been a fumble.
The ruling on the field is a forward pass. Incomplete.
Didn't hear the whistle right away.
And UCF knows all about that, remember?
Do they ever?
So.
Wild Maryland game. I think it was a forward pass. It was low. What do you think?
I definitely do. I mean, you'll see the angle coming this way.
Great look from our crew. No review required that time. And that'll do it for the third. It's a one-score game in Tampa. 31-24, Scott Frost and the Knights trailing the Bulls. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Let's take a look at today's Chick-fil-A fan cam. Bulls fans, Knight fans, excited outside Raymond James Stadium. Sunshine State rivalry and Senior Day. 18 seniors, their final scheduled home game. Getting set for the 4:31-24. Dave Ryan, Corey Chavis, and all year Corey's been talking about the fact that I eat a lot.
Yeah, you do. You see that in the book?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Eat more.
What are you talking about? I don't do that at all during the game.
Oh, you don't?
Great hamburger?
Let me get a little bit of that.
Absolutely.
I want to eat that. What is that? Is that a brat?
That's a brat. That's you, man. You get the brat. I'll take the burger. Is that fair?
We're gonna have to share that.
Deal.
Big third down right here, D.
Fourth underway. And Flowers. Deep ball. Incomplete.
And that was a great play.
Intended receiver.
DJ Killens, the player that's taking his game to another level, finds the ball. They're looking for Solomon in the key third down situation. And Killens says, no way. Not on my watch. You see his defensive backs coach and his teammates. This is what he's done the last couple of weeks. And it's been
flag whistles here before the punt from Hernandez.
False start. Offense. All 11 players weren't set at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
Bulls unraveling here a bit.
And what was the common theme when we talked to their linebacker, Mark Rucker? It was about, on third down, let's make Quentin Flowers beat us from the pocket. And look at the situation that they forced by winning on that third down.
Rugby kick, pressure, and almost blocked. Johnson hit right away. Alex Salvato.
Another long snapper making a tackle. It's two long snappers making a tackle in the same game.
Nate Evans had that pressure. Football continues next. San Jose State takes on Fresno State. And then a big one in the Mountain West. Donnell Pumphrey chase for the all-time FBS rushing record. San Diego State will take on Colorado State at 9 Eastern senior night. Montezuma Mesa. Presented by Geico, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Big one tonight with Donnell Pumphrey. First down, Milton throwing, Hamilton catching. Donnell Pumphrey, Corey, needs 90.3 yards per game. Colorado State, Wyoming in the Mountain West title game, then the bowl game to become the all-time leading rusher in FBS history.
He slowed down, what was it, 76 yards?
76 last week.
Yeah, so I mean, teams they know that too.
What a game that was on our air against Wyoming. Hamilton the burst, and the freshman impressive as he rambles out to about the 31.
He's run the ball hard today, and I like the way he's gotten back vertical. A lot of times you'll See those young backs just stay east-west. Not Hamilton, not today.
He's run for 52 and a touchdown. Third down. The sidearm sling broken up. And incomplete. Mike Love reaches out and knocks it down.
We're going to see Khalid McGee come off the slot. You see how he comes inside? He actually sets up Love. He goes back outside. So he goes inside of Love. Love goes outside. And then Love's able to get the batted ball.
Caleb Houston, 3-year starter. Redshirt senior from Cleveland, Tennessee. Punts again for UCF. 42-yard average entering play today. Johnson. Fair caught. Outside the 25. A break in Tampa. Scott Frost and the Knights within a score head-to-head with USF. Marlon Mack, 16 carries, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. Up to 3,562 career yards, number 1 all-time in USF history. 2 first-half touchdown runs. Little keep away with the ball that time. Into the end zone for another USF TD. Geico difference makers. Second straight game after a big effort last week against SMU. And Traquan Smith, 142 yards. He has all 3 100-yard receiving games this year for the Knights. He has been a factor for the visitors from Orlando. Ronnie Adams, that jet sweep, breaks a tackle, keeps on trucking, and gets out to the 34-yard line.
He's got to be careful running to that side and not switching the ball to his left hand. He's already fumbled the ball once today, and now he's leaving the game. But when you're running it to your left, it needs to be in your left arm, not your inside right arm going to the left.
2nd and 3. Play fake. Flowers throwing. Pass flutters a bit. Rashid Bronson has a catch in front of DJ Killings. Out to the 48, first down USF.
And it's not about the fluttering, it's about where he's throwing it. That should be to the outside shoulder of Bronson. To the inside shoulder gives the cornerback an opportunity to break on it.
First down. Wilcox by himself. Mitchell Wilcox, the catch. And the big run. Shaquan Burkett finally brings him down with a freshman who's had such a big impact blocking and receiving. Wilcox a big play.
Well, he's aligned here, and then he takes off, and nobody accounts for him. And so you're basically almost running like a single play to that side, a late release. Not sure if it was Earl Clark who was supposed to have him in coverage or who it was, but you can't let him run free down the field. Wilcox slices the Knights.
And Burkett is shaken up. See what happened. Burkett had that throwdown, then grabs the left forearm or wrist. And Wilcox so impressive with that wrestle away, my ball not yours touchdown against UConn and Obi Melanfano earlier this year. Really like that freshman.
Yeah, that was a good play, and I've been more even as impressed with the blocking. You mentioned a couple of blocks here today on the edge. But when you're 250 pounds, and a couple of times he's actually gotten Shaquem Griffin has come and run through him, but those are tough blocks to make in space, and they ask him to do that quite a bit. And then they also ask him to do it from in here. He's from an inline position now attached to the line of scrimmage.
Off the gain at 32. Longest play of the day for the Bulls by 16 yards through the air. First down. Flowers, mesh play, keeps. Quentin Flowers. Shaquem Griffin got him to head back toward the middle of the field and finished off there by Brim.
And Griffin is out over the slot. He's covering over the number 3 slot receiver. That's a testament to Shaquem Griffin's versatility. Not only is he the leading sacker in the conference, he can cover down over the slot.
Mack changes direction, gets a huge block. But who gets him? Shaquem Griffin tracks him and rips down Marley Mack for a big loss.
He's not going to outrun Griffin to the edge. Now here goes Griffin over here. You're going to see him flash back into the screen and then take the correct angle outside to make that stop. So Griffin, that's something he did all week against Greg Ward Jr. from Houston. He made a lot of one-on-one tackles in that game against him in what was just a truly spectacular performance.
That was a loss of 9. And Shaquem Griffin with 18 tackles for loss this year. Sensational. Injured night here. We'll get a number. That's Brim, who's hurt and will be helped off by UCF trainers. Senior from Dundee, Florida, transfer from Virginia. The daddy of the defense, they call Dimitri Brim. And as Eric Chenander, their defensive coordinator, told us last night, he's one who's not afraid to get in your face and say, you know what, you're not doing this right. Make a change.
Here's Flowers. Look at that block.
It was a sensational block.
And that was on, I think that might have been on Tristan Hill.
It was. And then Brim stepped on Flowers, like it turned his ankle. We hope Dimitri's okay. It's been a physical, hard-hitting rivalry game. It's what you'd expect, Corey, right?
Yeah, I mean, these two teams don't like each other. And we knew that coming into a lot of them were neighbors. A lot of them played against each other in high school. Some went to the same high school. And I think that's what you're kind of seeing today. And Flowers is trying to make his imprint even as a blocker.
Big play, third down. Flowers gets by Hill, looks for the edge, breaks a couple tackles. DJ Killings, bottom of the pile, finally able to drop the elusive Quentin Flowers. It's just a gain of 1.
Well, I thought this was Russell got cut by Dearness Johnson, but then Drico Johnson came up and got just enough of him to allow Russell to recover, and also number 24, DJ Killings. This is a big spot, I believe, the biggest spot we've seen really from Brandon Bear the whole year. This is a big field goal from 41 yards.
No good. Just wide right. Upright and no good. Baird made one earlier, not this time. Now for the general play of the game, Tristan Payton got some arm strength, Corey. It didn't work last week against Tulsa. It works today, the Traquan Smith.
This is a spectacular throw from a wide receiver, and he hit him in stride. And that's the big thing that you want to be able to do if you're a receiver throwing to another receiver, is give them an opportunity to do what you want to have happen when the quarterback throws you the ball, and that's to throw it in stride, and he did just that for Smith, who just had a spectacular afternoon.
First down. Milton, little play fake, flips that pass. Juwan Hamilton. Mike Love can't find him. Nigel Harris upends the freshman Hamilton. A good pickup, though, for UCF on first down. They have just seemed so comfortable offensively in the second half. Corey, why is that?
Well, they've run the ball 12 times and thrown it 19 on first down, so they've been balanced the entire game, and I think that's kept USF's defense off balance.
Second down. Nigel Harris again on senior day. Face-to-face physical contact with Juwan Hamilton. Gain of 2, so third down coming up.
And this USF defensive line, they've got to be salivating. You've got to back up at right tackle and Jake Brown. Look, you've got to be able to put your imprint on the game right here if you're that defensive line.
Big conversion try. Play fake. Oldham has the catch in front of Colin McGee. And Taylor Oldham the grab. Big first down for the Knights.
Well, I thought he threw the ball before Odom turned around. So when he turns around, the ball's right there, even though it's a little bit high. And that was an anticipatory throw from Milton. That's what you have to do to graduate and play next level at this level.
First down, play action. Tipped.
Intercepted, Augie Sanchez. Sanchez, the pick for USF.
And the Bulls are in business.
Here's Sanchez. He's reading the eyes of the quarterback. The ball gets tipped, and because he got a good break off of the shoulders of Milton, that's what allowed him to get the tip. So I know a lot of people say, well, it's a tip. You're supposed to catch it. Well, put yourself in a position to catch the tip, and that is breaking on the shoulders of the quarterback in zone coverage and actually matching your coverage. Couldn't have done it any better than what you saw from Sanchez.
Tip by Mike Love, who twice has deflected passes. That one into the hands of teammate Augie Sanchez. Big play. Bulls take over short field. Flowers, the burst. Flowers, the touchdown for USF. Electrifying.
They're reading right here. He reads him go down, and then all of a sudden, he takes off because you've got to read the mesh point, and that's what Flowers did a good job of on that zone read. Tristan Hill bites just a little bit. You can't give Flowers a step. You said he was the best running back in the conference. He's one of the best in the country.
Tenth time this year, a one-play scoring drive for USF, tops in the nation.
You better have on the sidelines a lot of air because they score so fast. Sanchez has to get back out there to get him the ball back, maybe even again.
Such a big game for USF, trying to go 7-1 in league play and wrap up the American Conference East if Temple loses to East Carolina. Now that's the key, as the Owls beat USF. Lone loss in conference for the Bulls was to Temple in Philly, as Quentin Flowers, 2 more touchdown runs in this game today. And the total just keeps on rising. 27 career touchdown runs for Flowers. Sanchez the pick, Flowers touchdown run again. Caden Moore on the return this time. First touch of the day for him. Got some good wheels. And he's dropped outside the 20 to the 25-yard line.
Well, coming into the game, Flowers had 16 20-plus yard runs. This classifies as another 20-plus yarder. And then he had 3 50-plus yards runs coming into the game. There's another 50-plus yard run. And guess what? He had 8 30-plus yard runs coming into the game. And so you got a little bit of it all. He sprinkled it back around to what he's been doing all year, the big plays.
Look at those numbers. Block in the back was called on that return by Jones. So backs up the Knights at the 15 to begin this drive.
And you're in a position with only 8 minutes and 29 seconds to go. I understand that Milton is a rhythm passer, and a lot of it comes off of what he can do with his feet. I don't know if he has a power arm, and I think that's what you need at this stage to be able to get back in it.
Close to crossing line of scrimmage. Intercepted. Godwin didn't drop this one. Now that's a great moment on senior day for the senior Nate Godwin. He has the pick. Back-to-back interceptions for the Bulls, and they get it right back.
I just mentioned the power arm, right? And this is a throw you've got to be able to make this throw over the top. And so here's the break by Godwin. He's coming right here, and he's gonna the ball should be placed over the top of Godwin. He doesn't get it over the top of him, even though Ward was in pretty good coverage, and he knows it. And now's the time where really Justin Holman would probably be a better option for UCF because Milton does not have the power arm. That to me is his biggest weakness, and he's a pretty good passer, doesn't have a power arm.
Back to the Bulls. Flowers. Elkanah Dillon. Cam bringing in with Earl Clark on coverage. There's a flag down.
It's like a false start.
Illegal formation.
Illegal formation?
Offense. 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
As much as they line up in those formations, that's a bit of a surprise, but good moment for Godwin and what he's been able to accomplish. He's always been a consistent player for him. Finishing on the ball, something you talked about, and I guess they're saying that Rasheem Bronson wasn't on the ball.
Knights decline the penalty, make it 2nd and 10.
Don't want to give him an extra down, huh?
Nope. Not with these guys out there. Flowers the fake. Flowers tracked down by T.J. Mutcherson, but he gets all the way to the 45 of UCF. The ball handling spectacular, 12 more yards.
Now, is this fair? One-on-one, and you do a pump fake, and you lose 3 defenders easily.
He's amazing. First down. Throwing. Sideline route. Solomon the catch. True freshman from Miami. Getting some targets. First catch of the year.
And when you talk to T.J. Weist, the offensive coordinator, he talks about how they leave some plays on the field.
Marlon Mack has a first down.
That's the amazing part, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they're averaging 516 yards a game, 7th in the country. And they're talking about they've left a lot of plays on the field this season.
T.J. Weist, one-time interim head coach at UConn when Paul Pasqualoni was fired there a couple years ago. An interesting answer when you asked him about being a head coach one day this week.
Yeah, he said that's something that's definitely wants to be a head coach again, just from some of the stuff he's learned over the years.
Pump fake. Flowers. Adams has the catch inside the 10.
Now, this is a route that they ran earlier in the season against Northern Illinois for a touchdown. Slant and go on this side. They come back with a seam to Adams. So he pump fakes it over here, and then he throws it back over there. And that's perfect timing by Flowers. And a pretty good throw.
Picks up 25. First and goal. Mack, T.J. Mutcherson, and Dimitri Brim combined on the tackle for UCF.
And that shows the recall of this staff. He talks about how Willie Taggart gets out there on Saturday morning sometimes, or Friday morning at walkthroughs, and says, let's change and add a wrinkle to something. And they just went back to a play from week 3, Dave. The last play.
Great call, by the way. You called that game, but your film study is extraordinary. I just want to make sure everyone understands that.
Man, that's something else, dude.
Fake that jet sweep. Mack with a flag down. Navigates through traffic and is dropped at the 5. Let's check out the marker here.
Holding. Offense. Number 73. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Jeremy Holm.
And that's the one player that I was hoping was going to get through this game without a holding call, because he's gotten a lot better this season, but this has been his problem. And you see how big he is? He just mauls people. He mauled Rucker, but that's a WWE move. But the thing about him, he's so big, just getting it under control, he's going to be a pretty good football player. He's had problems with those holding calls.
He's 6'5", 340. I'll say he's big. Now, Mark Rucker told us this week, what is he, 5'8 1/2"?
That wasn't a fair matchup.
No.
We got to go back to divisions.
Second down. Here's Mack. Tries to burst through the middle. And stacked up at the 15.
Man, I'm still smarting from that Hall versus Rucker matchup.
Temple can wrap up everything in the American East and become the champion of the division for the first time in school history with a win tonight over East Carolina. USF hoping to hold on here, and an Owls loss to the Pirates means USF wins the East. And will host the second annual American Conference Championship game. SMU and Navy play today. So Navy, there are scenarios where the Mids could host the championship game, but likely to be the East Division winner.
He barely got that
call by USF.
Timeout.
1 second on the play clock.
Yeah, first charge timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
What do you think about this championship game? You pretty excited for it?
Oh, I love it. I love conference championship games.
I do
Nothing
too.
like the last week of the regular season and then next week. And then Army-Navy, of course, on CBS for a couple weeks. That's pretty fun to watch, too.
And that's tough on Navy to have a conference championship game. Let's say they host it, and then you got to play Army after that?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fair. And if they do it and do it successfully, then you move up in the college football playoff poll.
And the college football playoff poll directors told us that they would wait on that potential New Year's 6 bid for Navy if they win the game. They win, of course, SMU. They've already clinched that American Conference West. They win the American Conference Championship game against either USF or Temple. Then they got to beat Army to be the highest ranked Group of 5 team. Now, Western Michigan, you talked about that earlier, they've had a great season in the MAC, undefeated.
I just think if they can beat Ohio in the MAC championship game, you've got to reward a team for going undefeated. And if you don't, then remember the Fiesta Bowl, Boise State, Oklahoma. Give these teams an opportunity to play in those games. We saw what happened with Houston last year at Florida State.
Off the timeout, Flowers lunges ahead inside the 15 to the 13.
Now, what do you think about that? Because I know Western Michigan doesn't bring a lot of. You and Melanie were talking. I mean,
two big
they bring a lot of
wins.
fans to this game, though,
That
right?
would be an issue. I would imagine for the folks in Arlington running the Cotton Bowl, because the Group of 5 champ is going to the Cotton Bowl this year.
Because I don't even know how many
have
people
the following that Navy would have.
And I don't even know how many people are in Kalamazoo. I mean, is there a lot?
They didn't sell out last night in their senior night against
Yeah,
them.
so.
Great team and great year for PJ Fleck. You don't want to take anything away from them.
Not at all, but we're just talking the facts.
Right. From 30 for Bear here. He's got this one. 41-24. Bulls in control on Senior Day in Tampa, Florida.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Ram Trucks, America's longest lasting pickups. By Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. By Bud Light, raise one to right now. And by the General Insurance, get your anonymous online auto insurance quote now.
Our great group. Happy Thanksgiving to one and all. Hope everyone had that safe and happy holiday on Thursday. And what a season it's been. CBS Sports Network, thanks to everyone who's worked so hard with us all year long. Tremendous job, guys. I can't believe this is the last couple minutes of our football season together, Corey. You're going to miss watching all that film this week, right? For those of you who don't know, Corey watches about 20 hours of film a week.
I watched 20 hours of film in 2 days.
For those of you tuning in for the San Jose State-Fresno State game, you're able to find that online at cbssports.com/live. As soon as it kicks off, of course, we'll get you out to that game immediately after the conclusion of our game here in Tampa.
The greatest thing I like about watching 10 hours in a day, still got 14 other hours to use.
Right. That's right. Camera crew doing such a great job all year for us.
They sure have given us some pretty good angles today. Who would have been able to get that onside angle earlier if not for the great work by our crew?
Miller on first down. Throws to Stewart, and it's incomplete with Ward on coverage.
That was almost a no-look pass. And that's because of the pressure, but
like everything else with an 18-year-old true freshman quarterback, today is a learning experience. And the good news is you have 15 extra practices by making a bowl game this year. And a chance to play in the postseason. And what a turnaround it's been. Stewart the catch there. First time since 04-05 when Coach O'Leary went 0-11, then a bowl game the next year, that any FBS team has gone from winless, as UCF did last year, to a bowl game the next season. Taj McGowan on the screen. First down.
I guess the decision that Scott Frost will have to make, though, is Milton. As we see this screen develop, and they do a lot of different things with Jason Ray. They're going to get him out, blocking in front, and also number 75, Tate Hurnley. But is he the guy to lead your program? As much as he was a good coop in your first year, there's Holman in the game
Justin
now.
Holman comes in. And Cam Stewart on the completion. Corey called for that earlier. Holman is their thrower. He's the senior from Georgia who started basically 2 full years. Began this season as a starter, hurt his hamstring against Michigan on a running play, and then lost his job to Milton. Handing off to Taj McGowan.
And by the way, one thing we always hear, you can't lose your job through injury. Yeah, you can.
You sure can.
I've had it happen to me before. It happens sometimes, and that's why they say don't get injured, and that's why I try to stay out of the hot tub, Dave.
And on the field, right?
Yeah, that's a popular thing. Stay out of the hot tub and stay on the field.
Here's second down. So Holman with that big arm throws to Traquan Smith, and runs right over Nichols. And Smith into the end zone for a UCF touchdown.
Wow.
What a stiff arm physical play by Traquan Smith, and he's shaken up.
He's been shaken up a couple of times today, though, right?
41-yard touchdown connection. Holman into the game. Responds to make it an 11-point contest.
Well, here's that power arm. Deep comeback to the outside numbers, and it's right on the money. And now it's one-on-one with Nichols, who he's not had a good day. I mean, I know he had the 3 tackles in a row we like. That was a stiff arm to the ground. That was a poor effort by Dietrich Nichols. I haven't seen a player dominate him like Traquan Smith has done him today all season. And that was an impressive score, and this game is far from over.
Senior from Stone Mountain, Georgia, Justin Holman comes in cold off the bench and now has his 34th career touchdown pass and 3rd of the year. He started against East Carolina, game we call on CBS Sports Network earlier this year when Milton had hurt his ankle.
And they won that game.
And they played well. He won that game, but the next time out, after Hurricane Matthew postponed the game, Milton was again the starter. Wright has a PAT, and hang on a second. It's 41-31.
Game's far from over when you got your senior throwing lasers like this. And for Traquan Smith and Dietrich Nichols, he says, no way.
The San Jose State-Fresno State game is underway and now available at cbssports.com/live. We'll get you out there as soon as this one is over here in Tampa. 10-point game. Justin Holman throwing a touchdown pass to Traquan Smith. It's the second TD grab of the day. He's had a huge afternoon. 7 catches, 183 yards, and 2 scores. So Donald De La Haye, we saw a very good onside kick in the first half. It didn't work out. Trey Neal was out of bounds. They try again. Airborne. Grab by Jamon Thomas.
I like the style of that onside kick. He got the second hop, and then that was just an excellent vertical jump by Jamon Thomas to go up and just scout over everybody. Look at those long arms. Boy, I tell you what, he's what you look for when you draw it up in terms of the frame if you want a longer safety in your back end.
6'3", 196-pound redshirt freshman from Immokalee, Florida. Impressive. Knights have 3 timeouts. Got to get the ball back, though. Junkyard Dog, Ernest Johnson busy. Knocked down by Brem, timeout.
That first charge timeout. Please set the game clock to 2 minutes, 42 seconds.
Ninth tackle of the day for Dimitri Brim, leading the way. Nigel Harris has 11 to lead the USF attack this week against Scott Frost. Temple plays tonight against East Carolina. USF trying to go 7-1 in league play and 10-2 in the regular season. So even if they don't make the championship game, Temple wins as expected tonight against the Pirates. Great season here for Willie Taggart.
Well, 10 wins for the first time in school history. And they've had a team ranked as high as #2 in the polls way back in, what was it, 2008, 2007?
2007.
And so now you've got a team to win 10 games for the first time ever, and that's before you go to the bowl game to maybe make another mark of winning 11 games, if they can win this game.
Here's Flowers. Bounces outside. Kyle Gibson on that RPO came and just decked Quentin Flowers. The pass incomplete.
Well, that was a dangerous pass by Flowers. What is he thinking on that? I mean, don't forget about the time on the clock. It's 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Somebody picks that ball off. They go to score a touchdown. They're only down by 3. You got to take care of the ball if you're Quentin Flowers, and that was a questionable decision by the junior.
Flowers has run for 152 and passed for 152 in the game today. 2 touchdown runs. That halfback option last week, late against SMU from Dearness Johnson, that almost ended a complete disaster for USF.
This is not far behind.
Yeah, kind of reminiscent. That's why exactly what I thought of that. Here's a timeout call.
Timeout, USF. Second charge, timeout, 30-second timeout.
Tell you what, I thought SMU had a chance to come back and win that game. Came down to, again, a key play late in the game by Dietrich Nichols, who not had his best game here this afternoon.
Not today, but it was great last week against SMU. American Conference news and notes started with that Memphis win over Houston.
Yeah, and all we've been hearing about in the news is Houston, and they can't get past Memphis. How many losses is that in the western side of the bracket just for that team? So it says a lot about the American Athletic Conference.
3.
Yeah. And so Tulsa, Cincinnati had been written off. They jump out to a 14-0 lead. And then all the teams that are bowl eligible, this team, UCF, can beat anybody in a bowl. Competitive conference.
Tulsa won 9 games in the regular season this year for Philip Montgomery. That is impressive. What a year for the Golden Hurricane.
He can coach. He really can.
3rd down off the timeout. Fake the sweep, and Flowers is dropped by Hill, the spectacular true freshman.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better scenario. Inside, they're pulling it around, and this time Amici gets a block, but it's Hill who works through the block of Hall to make the play.
Timeout called. 1 timeout now remaining for each team. 8 bowl spots, 7 teams bowl eligible. Navy has clinched the West. Temple trying to do the same with a win over East Carolina tonight.
And listen, some of these teams have enough conference victories to make bowl games without the rest of their schedule. So you got 4 6-win teams just in the conference and 2 5-win teams. So that says a lot in its own right about just how competitive the conference is.
Nearly blocked. Hernandez gets the kick off. Johnson on the return. Looks for room right. And his nail at the 16. 7-yard return off the 40-yard punt from John Hernandez.
Yeah, that was an unforced error. And I give Jawan Brown credit for the scoop and score. He was in the right position. There's another tip pass. Mike Love. And now you've got Milton taking off, and I don't know about that throw. That throw was underthrown, and Nate Godwin makes it pay. Could have had another interception as well. I think Sanchez, he's played well. For me, this Holman insertion into the lineup, USF has played around with fire a couple of weeks, letting teams get back in it. This is interesting.
So Holman stays in. Senior gunslinger, got the big arm. Got pressure, Awalake on the sack. Special moment for a special senior at USF. That ball tipped. Sanchez almost had a second pick. And Mike Love, well, he's been great up front today. In this game, Kevin Bronson, piece of that one. 6'4", 280. They've knocked down several night passes.
Well, let's keep in mind that right now, Akins is your biggest receiver on the field. Traquan Smith is not on the field on this down.
Coleman looks for Jones. It's incomplete. And Godwin almost had a second pick of the second half. So now 4th down, and Knights will have to go for it, of course, here.
This is just a vertical corner route by Hayden Jones, and I don't think he did a good enough job of pushing inside to give Holman room to make the throw. He stayed a little too vertical before breaking out. Now, you're on it is 4th down, so who is the guy that you're targeting with Smith out of the game? I gotta think maybe you're just gonna go ahead and give a shot maybe down here to the bottom. Tristan Payton, he's your fastest receiver on the field. Give him a shot down the field.
4th down, play fake. Holman, pressure, down he goes. Josh Black.
To be able to give him an opportunity, you got to hold up on the edges, and both edges failed. And you can see Black just runs right through Jake Brown, number 77. And then from the other side, he had a pretty good rush also.
Juwan Brown.
Yeah, and he was going against a guy who I thought was in pretty good shape most of the season, Aaron Evans. So they didn't hold up on the last down, and inevitably it cost the Knights.
Scott Frost, tough loss, double overtime at home to Maryland, the Big Ten. Temple, they lost last-second touchdown pass. Keith Kirkwood from Philip Walker. It's another tough loss here today, it appears. Close calls. 1st down. Here's Johnson trying to end this thing. Jemias Pittman knocked him down. Shy of the 5. He got to the 6-yard line.
What a game for Juwan Brown. A name you don't hear about much on this USF defense. He's played spectacularly in terms of not only scooping and scoring for a touchdown, but also bringing heat off the edge.
Johnson on 2nd down. Shaquille Griffin in his final regular season game. He'll bring down Dearness Johnson.
And he'll play on Sundays, Griffin. He's got a chance to be a safety at the next level. Some teams may look at him as a press corner. I don't think he's smooth enough to stay outside, but I definitely think he'll challenge for reps. And looks like Sanchez and Harris are setting up a Gatorade bath for Taggart.
And there it goes. Willie Taggart gets doused. Dearness Johnson. Wow, thrown backwards. Tony Garan. And Johnson was on the 1-yard line. A violent throwdown.
What a game for Garan. He doesn't care about the score. He's still talking noise to Wilcox. And I like that effort from Graham as well. And they're going to try to score.
Wow, it's a rivalry game. Remember that. Dearness Johnson, touchdown for the Junkyard Dog. Exclamation point on a Bulls win. You don't take a knee in a rivalry, right?
Well,
you score again and again and again.
For these two teams, there's no love lost. And that was just saying we're a little bit more than just 10 points better than you. And we're going to try to show it.
Barrett for the PAT. And the Bulls will win their school record 10th game of the year. What a season for USF.
Quietly 10 wins, right?
In terms of the national picture, yes. There's receiving votes in a couple polls, but not ranked in the playoff poll. And look at this. Ice bath for Willie. Woo! Oh, that's cold.
Yes, it is.
That feels good. Augie Sanchez leads the way.
You know what? You got to cool them down. They're so hot.
Absolutely.
I mean, this team they're hot, and I know that's probably the best ice bath he's gotten. You can see him celebrating with Deidre Sanad and Jamon Thomas. Everybody knows the work he's put in this program. First 10-win season in school history. That says a lot. With some of the accomplishments of this program, Willie Taggart, been a rising star for quite some time. all the way back to his days at Western Kentucky. He's done a great job.
2002, 2006, and 2007 under Jim Leavitt. USF won 9. This year 9 and now 10. They have set the new program record. For Scott Frost, UCF 6-6 from 0-12. I'll take that as a Knights fan. Incredible turnaround in just one season.
And as Melanie mentioned earlier in the game, he feels like the best is yet to come. So he seemed real giddy about where this program could go and the promise of it in terms of particularly just being on campus, having an on-campus facility with just so many students at that school.
Great shot of Rodney Adams. His final game honoring his late mother. On senior day, Jones the return. 4 seconds left. So in 4 seconds, the American Conference East look like this. USF at 7-1. Hoping Temple will fall to East Carolina tonight in Philly. If the Owls win, they wrap up the East because they beat USF 10-2, and UCF will await its bowl destination. They got the 15 extra practices. On senior day, one to remember. Now maybe another home game, it's possible, but the official senior day celebrations took place here today. I want to thank our great crew for a fantastic season, one and all. Our producer, Carlo Gennarini, our director, Jeff Mitchell, and our tremendous crew. Thanks so much, guys. That's it. 48-31 the final. So long from Tampa. Hang on. We got a little rough stuff afterwards. 48-31 is our final. Now let's send you out to California. John Sadak, Eric Davis, Taylor Rooks on the call. San Jose State takes on Fresno State. Thanks one and all for joining us all season long. Our American Conference broadcast on CBS Sports Network.